everybody. This is the Lights Out Sports Podcast, and it is our special on NFL free agency. Yes, we are going to have a lot of fun with this one. I know Cheese has been really looking forward to this as the NFL guy that he is. We're even going to have a discussion in the center that I can't wait to get to. We're going to do how does a team put together their roster? And what are the pros and cons of putting it together either in free agency or in the draft? You know, our draft analyst expert over here, Cheese, will be able to give us tons of insights on this. I know he will, and I can't wait for that to happen. So we're going to get to all of that in just a second. But, of course, before we do that, we got to have some kind of music, right, Cheese?
Have to.
Have to. It's a have
No
to.
brainer.
It's a must.
It's a must.
So, you know what? Here we go.
Are you ready?
Okay.
20 seconds start now. Ten seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. A little bit different in the background we're going to go with today.
Okay.
Cheese is like, good, but can you turn it down while you're talking? Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, got it. Got it, buddy. Got it.
I mean, I could kind of hear you. Yeah.
You can kind of hear me? All right.
Maybe.
I was looking at our comments over there. We'll get to them here in just a moment. But let me set this up for you because this show was completely written by our good buddy Cheese, our football analyst and draft analyst over here. So
No
I'm
pressure.
going to turn the reins over to Cheese. He's going to lead the whole thing. He's going to tell us where we're going to go, and it's probably going to be a better show because of it. So, Cheese, without further ado, sir, go right ahead.
Well, so here's the thing. We were going to lead the show talking about where would Max Crosby go? What team would trade for him? And I was, prepared notes for it. I actually had it all ready. That was the first thing I did. I was all ready, had all these teams. And then he got traded to the Ravens. So we're not going to lead the show with that. But what we're going to do on this show is we're going to go team by team, division by division. We're going to spend 1 or 2 minutes on each team. We're going to go over their needs. And then we're going to pick a free agent that we think is a really good fit for each team. And but before we do that, once again, Max Crosby has been traded to the Baltimore Ravens for 2 first-round picks. I think that's been talked about enough, but obviously, and that takes away edge rusher as a need for the Ravens. We'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to quickly mention before we get started, A.J. Brown, the wide receiver of the Philadelphia Eagles, could and may be traded. It's one of those weird things that I think the Eagles want way too much. And so I think it's less likely than people think to be traded. And I even heard a rumor, Mike. Did you hear this? That the Patriots offered a 1st and 3rd round pick, and Howie Roseman, the GM of the Eagles, denied it. Did you hear that rumor?
I did, and let me tell you, I love Howie. I think Howie's one of the better general managers in the world until I heard this rumor. If it's true, he's a nutcase for turning that down. I mean, don't you have to agree, though, Cheese? I mean...
I understand that it's the 31st pick. It's late 1st, late 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But at the same time, he's become a diva. He's a distraction. Get what you can for him. And that's a lot of draft capital. And they don't have a lot of cap room. We'll talk about that in a second. To go after free agents, to fill their holes, to fill their needs. They had a really bad end to the season. They flailed out in the playoffs. So why not get what you can in a pretty good wide receiver draft? So I agree. William says hello, all. Or William. Hello.
Right.
William.
Let me get his comment up there. I did see it. There he is.
I did see it as well. No, I agree with you. And yeah, you're right about Howie Roseman. He's a terrific GM. And Did you hear the rumor that they're listening on Jalen Carter, their star defensive tackle?
No, I didn't get that one.
They're listening. They paid Jordan Davis. If anyone didn't see, they paid their nose tackle 3 years, $78 million, record for nose tackle. And apparently, you can't pay everybody. And the Eagles are right up against the cap, like I said. So there's a rumor they're listening on Jalen Carter, which is interesting, but they're going to want a lot for him. But I wonder if they may want a receiver back for Carter, and then maybe we can talk AJ Brown. Who knows? I don't know. The rumor is the Packers are calling, but they don't have the draft capital. That's a joke. That's a joke. So, okay. All right. So, here's what we're going to do now. And what we really want on this show is we want you guys to participate. If there is a free agent that you think's a great fit. Did I disappear?
You did not disappear. You did cut off. You said there's a free agent that's a great fit, and then that's what we got.
If there's a free agent that's a great fit or a position we don't talk about, let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you guys. This isn't just about us. We want you guys to be part of this as well. So make sure you comment. If you love the picks we have, like my picks, if you think Mike made a bad decision, let us know that too.
Of course.
So obviously, but maybe there's a sneaky need for a team. We love those. We love, and any stats you find, Mike loves those. So
I do love stats
at us. He loves stats. So throw that at us. And without further ado, so right now, like I said, we're gonna go team by team. And I think basically Mike and I are gonna pick a lot of different players. We always do. When we do the lights out list, the top 10 list. We're not doing a top 10 list tonight. It's just a special. Although Mike wanted to do top 10 long snapper signings of all time, but I said no. No, it's not.
There were a bunch of kickers that signed today. If you didn't see,
I did see that. So we're gonna go over once again, not our predictions, but what we think's the best fit for each team and free agent. Did you look at the salary cap at all? Like how much room teams had?
No,
you didn't.
I did not.
I looked at it a little bit. I didn't go too into it, but obviously some teams have more than others. So real quick before we start, I think this free agency is pretty weak, especially like for star players, but it's got some depth, meaning there's a lot of solid starters, like okay starters, but it's just really bad at the top. There's not like 10 studs in this free agent class. And that means the 2022 draft was weak, and it was pretty bad. But the positions where it's the weakest, in my opinion, are tight end, offensive tackle, center, and defensive tackle, or interior defensive line. Strongest, I think it's running back, wide receiver, edge rusher, and off-ball linebacker. So without further ado, we're going to start with the West, okay? Actually, I did this on purpose. We're going to start with the NFC West because Mike has two teams he likes, the Arizona Cardinals, which are in the NFC West, and we're going to finish with the North, which his other team, the Cincinnati Bengals, is. So we're going to start with Mike. We're going to finish with Mike, but we're going to do the West first. Everybody does the East first on these shows. So we're going to do the West first.
Okay.
Then we're going to do the South. Then we're going to do the East, and we'll finish, like I said, with the North. So without further ado, first team to talk about is Mike's Arizona Cardinals. Well, he claims to be Arizona Cardinal fan when it's convenient for him, but
Well, like it's ever convenient to be an Arizona Cardinals fan.
Hey, they almost won a Super Bowl with Kurt Warner. Almost. But all right, so I have their needs as quarterback, obviously, running back, offensive line, or right tackle, either one. I could use a guard as well. Nose tackle, edge rusher, and linebacker. So, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I tell you what, let's do it this way. I will go first on until we get to the part to where we do the pros and cons of building a team via free agency or the draft. And then after that, that's the halfway point of this. So then after that, you can go first. So we divide everything. How about that?
Okay, so Mike, and that's great. Mike will go first for the first half of the show. So Arizona Cardinals, give me a free agent signing you think's a great fit, Mike.
All right, well, everybody wants to do the quarterback here. maybe it's because I am their fan on this show, but I don't want them to go out and get a quarterback. I want them to suck with Jacoby Ellsbury. and we'll just tank again.
Did you say hold on? Did you say Jacoby Ellsbury? Did you Did you say a baseball player used to play for the Red Sox?
Yeah.
You mean Jacoby Brissett? Oh,
yeah, okay. All right. So this show's starting off great, isn't it?
So real quick, spring training started. Mike loves spring training more than anyone I know. He is so in baseball mode, so forgive him for that, but that was hilarious.
I don't know what to tell you at this point. I mean, if you look at the last podcast I did and this one, you will see my face is much darker now because I've been to all kinds of spring training games. Roger was down here with me from the Red Hot Reds podcast. Shout out to them. They're actually doing a podcast right now, so watch us now and then them later. Yeah, it should be great fun.
We got a lot of comments. Brentley Jenkins, we got D Demon, we got Kevin Leonard. We got lots of comments going
on right now. That is fantastic. We'll get all those up. We really will. I will get to them here in just a moment. Let me go through, and especially the people who send all the emojis. What in the world is up with that?
That's Brentley Jenkins.
Ooh, I don't know what that means, but all right, youngins, maybe you can tell me what that one is. I don't know.
Oh, we got Kevin. He said LFG. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get to there, and then I'll go back to my notes here because I'm on two separate screens here for a second. So I don't always see everything coming across right at that moment. I'll probably put most of that stuff up while you're talking, sir. So, okay. But let me get to my Arizona Cardinals for a minute. For those of you who don't know, and again, you put quarterback, running back. They signed running back today. I'm sure you saw it, Cheese.
They agreed to a restructured contract, so running back's not as big of a need with James Conner. Correct.
Mm-hmm. So then that leaves us with offensive line, right tackle, nose tackle, edge rusher, and linebacker. So here's what I chose. I did not take the easy route of quarterback. The Arizona Cardinals were actually last in sacks of the 32 teams in the NFL season, and they only had 30 all season long. Mm-hmm. 12 of those belonged to Josh Sweat. Mm-hmm. So Sweat's 28, and he is signed through 2028. So the Cardinals need to sign 27-year-old Jalen Phillips to a 3-year contract so that he is paired with Sweat, and they can have an inside and an outside presence, and they might even address more of that in the draft. But I don't want to consider the draft right at the moment in too many of these picks. So I'm going to give Arizona Cardinals Jalen Phillips in a 3-year contract.
Wow, Jalen Phillips. So I'll just say, whoa. I mean, he's one of the best free agents available. I like that fit. That would give him a really good bookend edge rushing combo. Mm-hmm. So I didn't shoot for the moon like you. Obviously,
well, they have a lot of cap space.
They do have a lot of cap space. I mean, obviously Malik Willis, if they want a quarterback, they could target him. He's probably one of the. There's probably 3 teams that could target Willis. They're one of them. Jimmy Garoppolo has been rumored if Willis signs elsewhere, just a bridge quarterback somehow. Maybe Jacoby Brissett. But I went with Jermaine Eluemunor. I think that's pronounced correctly. They need a right tackle. He's, I'd say league average right tackle. He's a better pass blocker than run blocker, but it was a problem last year. And no matter what quarterback you put back there, especially someone like Jacoby Brissett or maybe Jimmy Garoppolo, someone who's just not very mobile, you need to have good pass blocking offensive line. So yeah, Jermaine Eluemunor, I think that's how you say it. He was the right tackle for the Giants. That's what I have for the Cardinals. Okay. Next up, San Francisco 49ers. They need a wide receiver, a defensive tackle, edge rusher, cornerback, and safety. A lot of defensive needs for the 49ers. Who you got?
A lot of defensive needs, and I'm going to take an offensive guy. Yay, me!
Okay.
I'm going to take a receiver for them. I believe, even though it's spelled W-A-N with the little apostrophe in there, I think it's still Wandale, right? Wandale Robinson.
Wandale, yes.
Yeah, I don't know why people can't spell their name like it's supposed to be, or why they got to name themselves Twitter and all kinds of stupid stuff. But that's another topic for another show. So Wandale Robinson, he is good at those intermediate routes. And I think the reason why I chose him for them at the wide receiver spot is I think that's a good spot for Purdy. I'm playing in to his strength. I don't think his strength is a 40 or 50-yard bomb. I think his strength is on target, route running, those kind of throws to where I don't have to guess. I know right where the guy is going to be, even if it's only 5 to 7 yards. That's fine. We'll do 2 of those and we'll still get a first down and we'll just keep marching right on down the field. Who would you pick for the San Francisco 49ers, Chiefs?
There have been rumors they're going to target Caden Ellis, linebacker. There's connections between the staff and him, former Atlanta Falcon. But how about Monteric Brown? I want to talk about. I'll mention him later. And by the way, I will talk about your guy later with another team, Wan'Dale Robinson. But
okay,
Monteric Brown had a breakout year for the Jaguars. Their cornerback room was much better than expected, and the 49ers really need a corner. And like I mentioned, defense it was a big problem last year. So it was only one great year, but he looked amazing. So yeah, Monteric Brown. I think he's only 26 years old. Cornerback, 49ers. Next
All
up,
right.
Los Angeles Rams. I have their needs as wide receiver, right tackle, cornerback, and backup quarterback. Who you got?
Okay, again, another receiver for them, Calvin Austin III. I think he'd be a perfect fit for them. He would be a good third receiver option. He's kind of quick in those bursts and would give the Ram another threat and more of those kind of underneath passes. He's kind of like the Dwayne Robinson type. Wan'Dale Robinson type, to where he's good in those intermediate routes. Right now, the Rams have, a couple of really good receivers out there. I can't remember their names. Anyway, they've already got those guys covered. So what they really need is another third receiver. And I think Calvin Austin III could really help them in their offensive scheme. So that's who I'm going to pick for them, Calvin Austin III.
Okay. I shot a little higher as far as receiver goes, but I also picked a receiver. By the way, I don't know what Mike's picking, so I had to put 2 names each time. So I might mention a couple just because I have 2 written down. I'm going to mention them both, but no, I went with Rashid Shaheed. Wide receiver, just won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks. Once again, they have Puka Nacua. They have Devontae Adams. So why do they need a receiver? Well, Puka Nacua, great slot receiver, one of the best receivers in the NFL, great route runner. Devontae Adams, same thing. They don't have a speed guy, and they have been trying to get a playmaker on offense, trade up for one for years, and put Rashid Tutu Atwell, by the way, is not that guy. They tried to make him the guy he isn't. Put Rashid Shaheed in that offense with Adams, with Puka Nacua, plus you're taking away from your rival, the Seahawks. Wow, that offense would probably be the best in the NFL. Okay. I can't wait till we get to the Bengals. You're going to be so mad at me. Okay. All right. Seattle Seahawks.
I wasn't mad at you the last show we did with that other guy you threw out there.
Every mock draft I do, which I'm going to do next week after free agency, a week from Monday. So make sure you check out my channel at Football with Cheese on YouTube. Football with Cheese, CHEZ. Yeah, got that in there.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. I'm going to do another mock, and I already have someone planned for the Bengals to make you even madder. Okay. Seattle Seahawks.
And just so everybody knows, in the description here, I have our YouTube channel at All Gloves Off Sports Media that has myself. It has the Red Hot Reds. It's got a lot of other stuff that you can do. We're looking to add a few more. So if you guys are out there and you are doing a show and you're thinking that you want to come on board with a bigger conglomerate like All Gloves Off Sports Media, please drop me a DM over on our X account at All Gloves Off SM, and we'll talk. But in the descriptions down below, Cheese's account is there on YouTube, and so is ours. So check those out, and all you got to do is do one simple click. Go ahead, Cheese.
And follow us on X at Football Cheese, basically without the with. Follow me on X. But it's more important right now to go to Mike's X. It is All Gloves Off SM, because we have a poll question. It's pinned to his X account, and it is asking, based on, well, it's pretty long, but I'll just say, how many free agents do you expect your team to sign the first 48 hours? It's basically 0, 1, 3, or 4 or more. So make sure you go to All Gloves Off SM on X and vote in that poll. Results pending later. Okay.
Well, that'll be your job today. I forget the poll questions all the time, so you're the host today. You make sure you get it in there, all right? Or I'm really going to make fun of you on X. But go ahead.
Okay. Seattle Seahawks. They need a running back because Kenneth Walker's a free agent. Wide receiver, guard, linebacker, and corner. Mike, who you got for the Seattle Seahawks?
All right, I'm going to give them the ex-Bronco linebacker, Justin, help me here, Strand, Strnad, right?
That's all you.
All right. So he had a kind of a specific role with the Broncos last year. He was basically a rotational blitzing linebacker. And I know that you love all these, linemen, offensive, defensive linemen. So you give us a better grade on him if you would like. But I think he did well, and I think he did well enough that he deserves a bigger, stronger role in a defense. And I believe, why wouldn't you want to go to Seattle and be that guy to get a bigger and better role with them? So I think that'd be a great fit for Justin. That's why I gave him to the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, he's one of those under the radar free agents. He is 29 years old. Probably won't cost a lot. So that that's a really interesting fit. I never thought about him with the Seahawks, but I love that fit. And they do have some defensive free agents. So I also went defense. They have a lot of cap room, which is surprising. Usually Super Bowl winners, the best teams don't. But I'm going to go with Jamel Dean, cornerback. I think he's going to be 29 or 30 from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I just think he's such an amazing fit in Mike McDonald's offense. And they have two free agent corners. Tariq Woolen is a free agent, and so is Josh Jobe. So why not go pair him with Devin Witherspoon? And he's an unbelievable blitzer. One of the best blitzing corners in the league. And if you watch the Super Bowl, that's what Seattle did. That's what they did to the Patriots. So just Jamel Dean, they have the room to pay him. He will cost a lot, but can you imagine Jamel Dean and Devin Witherspoon? That would be two of the best 15 corners in the NFL. That tandem would be incredible. Okay, let's go over to the AFC West and the Las Vegas Raiders. I have their needs. Well, there's a lot. Okay, so wide receiver.
How about you do what are not their needs? That'd be a shorter list.
Oh, wait till we get to Cleveland. Their needs are wide receiver, tackle, guard, defensive tackle, edge rusher, linebacker, corner, and safety. Okay, Mike, who you got for the Las Vegas Raiders?
Well, I'm going to be interested to hear your take on this because I am about to say he's the best defensive tackle in free agency. And I want to know if you believe that to be true as well. I'm going to give him to the Raiders because I want Ashton Jeanty to be able to run behind somebody and actually open up this offense for the quarterback that we all know they're going to get in the draft. So I think that'll make it easier on him as well. Of course, if his running back has some lanes to go down, I'm going to give them DJ Reader in free agency. So do you think he's the best defensive tackle?
Well, yeah, I mean, defensive tackles obviously on defense. So, obviously Jeanty doesn't run behind it. But as far as,
that's true.
Yeah, well, thing is, well, they need defensive tackle so bad. DJ Reader, here's the thing. I have him on a different team, but when he's healthy, he's very good. He's just rarely healthy. He used to be on the Bengals. But the Raiders have been searching for defensive tackle help for 20 years. It's just been really bad. So that makes a ton of sense. So for the Raiders, okay, I'll say this. The rumors are going after Tyler Linderbaum, the free agent center. He is going to get paid by somebody, whether it's the Ravens or whoever. I'll talk about him more throughout this show. But the Raiders, they need just about everything. How about... let's just do this. You have the first pick and you're taking Fernando Mendoza. You have to protect him. Isaac Seumalo is a guard for the Steelers. He's one of the best guards available, maybe the best guard in free agency. Like I said, the Raiders need so much help. They need better run blocking. He's very good at that. For Ashton Jeanty, like you mentioned, he had terrible blocking. So why not go get a guard to help you out? And they have a ton of cap room. I think they have as much as anybody. All right. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs, who had a very disappointing season. I have their needs as running back, wide receiver, tight end, right tackle, a lot of offensive needs, tight end if Kelsey retires. Defensive tackle, edge rusher, and cornerback. Mike, who you got?
Well, let me just put a pin in this. Is Kelsey going to retire thing right now? Yes.
Ooh.
And it's going to be, they're going to go out and get another tight end in free agency that's going to signal that he should retire. Isaiah Likely. And he has more potential than he was given in Baltimore. He's actually, if you watch the tapes and things, he's improved on his blocking. He's obviously good at catching the ball. And who wouldn't want to be the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs with some guy named Patrick throwing you the ball?
Wow. No, interesting. I have him with another team. I never even. Okay, yeah, that could absolutely work. If once again, he's had trouble, like DJ Reader was talking about, staying healthy. But when he's healthy, he's probably the most underrated tight end in the NFL. When he is healthy, he's been behind Mark Andrews. Okay, so I wrote down two. So I'm going to mention both because you didn't say either one.
Okay, then we're probably going to have that a lot, so that's fine.
Taylor Decker was released by the Lions, and they couldn't come to an agreement on a restructure. He's been a long-time left tackle. He's a very good left tackle. Injury issues for sure. But the Chiefs, they released Juwan Taylor at right tackle. Why not move Josh Simmons to right tackle, sign Taylor Decker to be your left tackle? You got to protect Patrick Mahomes. I think it'd be a great fit. And then they need a running back. Rashad White had a really good year for Tampa Bay. He's good at picking up blitz, good at catching the ball in the backfield. So Rashad White, running back, I think would be a great fit as well. All right. Los Angeles Chargers. I have their needs as guard, another guard, defensive tackle, edge rusher, and linebacker. Chargers, who you got?
All right. So this one's kind of interesting, and I had some different ways that I could go here. I know they've got some really glaring needs, as you point out with G, G on the needs list here, but I did not go that way. I know the guy that I'm going to say improves the side of the ball that's already much better than the opposite side of the ball, but if you're going to make something good, why not make it great? Linebacker Devin Lloyd from Jacksonville. He has gradually improved, and he's one of the few three-down linebackers that can actually rush the passer. You put Devin Lloyd on that line for the Chargers, and I think we'll take a line from one of our people over here. Let me make a couple clicks here, and we'll talk to Kevin and say LFG when we get that guy on that side of the ball for the Chargers. What do you think, Cheese?
Make sure you put up D Demon P5P. He said hi like 3 times, so make sure you put him up there.
Am I missing somebody? Maybe I showed him, but I don't know.
There we go. There we go. He said hi like so many times.
Okay.
No, Devin Lloyd. He's the best off-ball linebacker in this free agent class. That makes sense. They have a ton of cap room. So I love that fit. So I have Trey Hendrickson with another team, but they could sign Trey Hendrickson because they have cap room. They need an edge rusher. They re-signed Khalil Mack, but it's probably his last year. He's toward the end. They still need edge rushing help. So I just wanted to mention that. But
I can't wait for your reaction, by the way. I've got Trey Hendrickson with the team. I can't wait to get your reaction off of it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I have him with an NFC team. We'll see. Okay. But David Edwards, left guard for the Buffalo Bills. He was a backup for the Rams, and then the Bills signed him for not much money to be a starter, and he just took off the last couple of years. And he had an amazing season. He's one of the best left guards in the NFL this past year. And the Chargers' offensive line was the worst I've ever seen in NFL history. Both tackles were hurt. They're both going to be back. They already signed Tyler Biadasz to center. They need help at both guard spots. So I think David Edwards would be a perfect fit in their team. Denver Broncos, I have running back, wide receiver, tight end, defensive tackle, and linebacker. Defensive tackle, linebacker. All right, who you got for the Broncos?
Well, again, this is, and I've found this on a lot of teams. We were going through and doing all of this, and I am not the great prognosticator that you are as far as looking at all these different spots. This one for me actually was pretty easy. They need a little more offense. They need a hybrid running back that can help that offense score. So why not give him the guy who was top 10 amongst running backs in not only 20 plus yards, but 40 plus yards rushing, and can actually catch the ball with these little short nicks dump off passes that he has. And then he can probably turn them into, turn the 4-yard pass into a 7 or 8 yard gain. I think the perfect fit for Denver Broncos is the running back Travis Etienne.
Good thing I write down 2 names, because that was the first name I wrote down. Oh, he's a perfect fit for Sean Payton's offense. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the kind of back Sean Payton wants. Okay. So I have David Njoku, tight end, formerly Cleveland Brown. Tight end has been a need for years for the Broncos, a receiving tight end, and Bo Nix needs another weapon besides Courtland Sutton. And obviously Nix didn't play in the AFC title game, but still the offense didn't have enough weapons for Jared Stidham, backup quarterback. And tight ends, like we just mentioned, is a big need. So I'll go David Njoku to the Broncos. Next up, we have the NFC South. We're done with the West. All right. New Orleans Saints. I have running back, wide receiver, guard, defensive tackle, edge rusher, linebacker, and cornerback. Yes, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. They need a lot. Who you got for the Saints?
Well, you're right. They do need a lot. But I think they need to find out who their quarterback is. Are they going to stick with one of these 2 guys, or are they not? And I think the biggest way that they can do that is if they take some pressure off of him and see if he can read the defense. See if one of these 2 guys they've got, because I'm not sure if they're really sold on who they finish the season with, but we'll see. So to take the pressure off of him, off their, I guess I would call him good at best quarterback, you do that with a running back. So I'm going to give the New Orleans Saints Kenneth Walker III, but I'm going to put a caveat on this one here. But they'll probably have to overpay him, and I'm not sure how smart it really is to overpay an often injured running back who really has only had a really successful half of one season. But I don't think they can get Love in the draft. I think he'll be out of there before they're there, because you can tell me Kansas City picks before New Orleans, right? Or not?
The one pick after. The Saints pick 8, Chiefs pick 9.
Ah, okay. Well, one of those 2 teams is going to pick Love. So, yeah. What?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs at 9 is probably the lowest he will go for a running, believe it or not, even though he's a running back. I agree with you. I think Chiefs is probably, unless the Saints and Chiefs sign free agent running backs. I agree with you. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Dorcrex. Yes. What Dorcrex is saying is he wants to talk about a team that has a fish mascot, like maybe the Dolphins.
Maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know. I have. We'll talk about Kenneth Walker.
Keep swimming. Go ahead.
We'll talk about him in a later team with me. So
okay.
I had 2 names.
Now let me ask you this, Cheese. I didn't ask you this beforehand. I don't know what you tried to do. Myself, I tried to put one person with each team. I did not put any 2 people with any, or I didn't put one person with 2 teams. How did you do yours? I
did a few times. I did. I couldn't. Not to, but there are a few repeats. You'll see.
Okay.
Especially when we get to the north. But yeah, there are a few repeats because they're just such good fits. You mentioned Isaiah Likely. I think he'd be a great fit in New Orleans. Tyler Shuck needs another weapon. He needs a tight end. I think Isaiah Likely would be great. But Nakobe Dean, linebacker, he's had injury issues with Philadelphia, but when he's healthy, he's been good. And the Saints could really use linebacker help. Demario Davis is a free agent, so I would love to see both of those as fits for the Saints. Atlanta Falcons, I have wide receiver, defensive tackle. So only one offensive position. Wide receiver, defensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback, and backup quarterback. Who do you got for the Falcons?
Well, again, I think This one was relatively easy for me. So you stretch the field and you give their great running back a lot of real estate, a lot of room to run when you do that. So they're more than likely going to lose Alec Pierce and his 21.8 yards. Or no, I'm sorry.
Well, he's on the Colts.
Yeah, he's on the Colts.
They lost Darnell
these
Mooney.
teams.
Well, they lost Darnell Mooney is who they lost. Yeah.
Yes. But I'm wanting them to sign Alec Pierce. So my apologies.
Okay. Oh, wow.
The Atlanta Falcons signed Alec Pierce and get his 21.8 yards per reception that he's had the last 2 years. They stretch the field, and then they hand the ball to their running back and let him go.
You know, I didn't actually think about him. I have him with another team. More on that later.
Mm-hmm. We keep saying that.
We get to the East divisions. Interesting. That actually, Michael Penix Jr. would be ecstatic, and that'd be a great compliment to Drake London. I actually love that fit. I should have thought of it. Mike, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? You're taking over as the NFL guy? Is that what you're doing?
No, not at all. Not at all. If you'd see all this crazy stuff around me right now. I mean, I'm sure that everybody that's watching keeps going, man, why is he showing us this bald head for? He keeps looking down. That's because I want to make sure I get all these notes right. I've got so much stuff around me right now. It's insane.
All right, I'm going to give you about a minute here as I talk about the Falcons. Okay,
go ahead, buddy.
So they could use some linebacker help. And there's a player I've been very critical of, but he's just miscast in Green Bay. He's not a middle linebacker. He doesn't have instincts, but he's athletic and he's fast. He needs to play the weak side linebacker. And there's a team, the Atlanta Falcons could use a weak side linebacker in Quay Walker. I think he would actually fit on that turf, speed. You know, teams in domes, teams, you know, inside typically favor speed more than outdoor teams. I think he would fit them. They could also use him as they like to use like linebacker / edge. They like to do that. Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., who probably never play again, but Jalen Walker is another one of those players, you know, all-pro linebacker / edge. So Atlanta likes to do that. So Quay Walker just totally fits everything they want to do. And the other name I had was Tariq Woolen, the tall corner for the Seahawks. They could really use a number 2 corner. So, yeah, that's the other guy I mentioned. Okay, let's go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their needs are tight end, guard, edge rusher, defensive tackle, and cornerback. So, Mike, who do you have for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
All right, sir. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came up short this year, as we all know. And for me, the guy who would hang on, I got to look over here at these notes. I know he's over here. There he is. So the guy who would make sense to me, who would complete that offense, it's kind of like when I talked about the Chargers, and I know they may not have needs as much on the defensive side, but I gave them a defensive player anyway. I'm going to do the same thing here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even though you do have tight end as their number 1 need, I'm going to give them the guy who I think is the best one, Cade Otton.
Oh, so they re-signed him. They re-signed Cade Otton.
Yeah, I want them to re-sign him.
Okay.
Sometimes the guy you know is the best guy that you can have. So yeah, I really like that fit with him, and I think I'm afraid who else would sign him if they don't re-sign him. And there's a few teams out there that I really don't want to sign them. Possibly the next team on the list, but we'll get to that in a minute. But so Tampa Bay for me, re-sign Cade Otton.
Cade Otton is. I don't know how good he is. He's had some incredible games, but is it because the receivers are good he gets all the dump offs from Baker Mayfield, or is he really good? You know, he's a tough. I've seen people think he's like a top 50 free agent, and I've seen lists where he's not in the top like 200. So yeah, I mean, he knows the offense, so that would be a good re-signing. I don't know how good he is. So that makes sense. Besides, I mean, the obvious is re-signing Mike Evans. I think that would be the obvious.
Wow, I thought they already did that.
No, they have not. Mike Evans is a free agent, and I will mention him with another team when we get to the East.
Not.
Yeah, Mike
I
Evans
may have to replace somebody with somebody else now.
Well, I'll just say this about Mike Evans, and we'll talk about this with a couple other people on this list. He has one last chance to hit free agency, and maybe he thinks another team gives him a better chance to win the Super Bowl, even though Tampa's a pretty good team. Maybe. So Who knows? But I will talk about that when we get to that team. I think Trey Hendrickson, Tampa Bay, is such a perfect match. They need pass rush. They have not had a good edge rusher. I don't remember how long. Simeon Rice. I mean, when was the last time they had a good edge rusher? It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
I just, they have enough cap room. I think this is a match made in heaven, and maybe the Chargers go after him. I don't know, like I mentioned earlier, but I just think Trey Hendrickson, Buccaneers, and the defense, let's be honest, the defense has let the Buccaneers down the last couple of years. Offense has been very good. So I just think that would be an incredible fit. Okay. Carolina Panthers, their needs are tight end, defensive tackle, edge rusher, linebacker, and safety. Mike, who you got?
Well, I almost put K-Dot in here in Carolina, to be honest with you. But I ended up not. I ended up just going back with Tampa Bay on him. So here's what I did, and let me set this up first. I think Carolina is still in one of those predicaments where they have to overpay just because of the team they are, where they're at. They're just not in that upper echelon of NFL teams. So I think especially in free agency, and we'll get your opinion on this here a little later when we talk about how you build a team. But I think in free agency, when you're not one of those upper echelon teams and you start signing players, you almost have to overpay them because they don't want to come play for you because you're not upper echelon. So they're going to have to overpay. And if you're going to do that, you may as well go out and get the really good guy, right? Go out and get the edge rusher. Go out and get the 27-year-old edge rusher whose name I am going to butcher. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. I can help out with that.
Go ahead.
Odafe Owe.
Thanks. But yes, that's the guy. That's the guy I think they should go out and get. In my opinion, the best edge rusher on the market. And if you're going to have to overpay, then I think you go out and get the best one. If that's what you have to do, go get the best one money can buy.
So you think he's better? Maybe he's 4 years younger, but do you think he's better than Trey Hendrickson?
I do, because you just said why. He's 4 years younger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
I think Trey Hendrickson, as much as I love him, as much as I know the Bengals aren't going to sign him, and we've talked about this in prior shows, the Bengals screwed this all up. So I want him to go somewhere, and I want him to get a ring, and I want him to get paid. And maybe that's part of the reason why I don't want him to go to Carolina either, because I don't think he'll get any of those things, but possibly get paid in Carolina. So I can't wait to tell you where I want Trey Hendrickson to go. It's going to be a good show when we get there.
I think he's going to.
Not that it's not a good show already, but
I just think Tampa is such a good fit with him. I have a feeling.
Okay.
So more on Odafe Owa much later in the show, like toward the end. Yeah. So I have two names down. I'm just going to mention them real quick. Tremaine Edmonds was released by the Bears, off-ball linebacker. That's a big need for the Panthers. I think he'd be a good fit. But Nick Cross, they need a safety. Their safeties are terrible. Nick Cross, coming off a really good year, safety for the Colts, I think would also be a really good fit. I thought about edge rusher, but they did draft a couple last year. So I'm thinking, okay, let's focus on the back seven. So yeah, Tremaine Edmonds, and Nick Cross to me would be great fits in Carolina. Okay, so we did NFC South. Let's do the AFC South. Tennessee Titans. Okay, you ready for a long list here, Mike, of needs?
Yes.
You ready? Okay. Running back, wide receiver, tight end, tackle, center, defensive tackle, edge rusher, linebacker, cornerback, and safety.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're done. Okay, wake up. All right, got it.
No, all right, who you got for the Titans?
All right, buddy. So I'm going to give them a 26-year-old guy who I think really shines some in Atlanta, but if you take the number 2 tag off of him and put the number 1 tag on him, he'll be able to shine more in Tennessee. Tyler Algier, I believe is how you say it, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, from Atlanta. Yep. There were times when he actually kept running back number 1, who I love him there in Atlanta, off the field for a little bit. And I really think if you put him on a young Tennessee Titan team with a young quarterback, get some young receivers in the draft off of him, and let's just score as many points as humanly possible and cross your fingers when the defense hits the field.
I have him on another team, but you know what? Actually, he totally fits their offensive system. He's such a good zone runner, and that's what they're going to do. So he'd be a great fit. I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't see them. I don't know. I just didn't think about them like actually going out and spending on running backs because they have so many needs. But okay, I like that. You mentioned Wandale Robinson. I think this is a good fit for the Titans. He's coming off his best year. He's gotten better each year. And Cam Moore needs a lot of help. They need wide receivers. Wandale just he gets open quickly. He can get open quickly, and that's what Cam Moore needs. The offensive line has been a problem. I also have just one other name mentioned, Cade Mays. He's a backup center for the Panthers. When he was asked to play, he was decent. Maybe not great, but he's a 26-year-old free agent, which if you didn't know, 26, 27-year-old free agents are much more valuable than 31, 32 because you get them. Yes, you get them in their mid-20s. So Cade Mays is center. The Titans cut Lloyd Cushenberry, who I'll mention soon, another team. They're center, so they need another center. But those are the two I have for the Titans. Indianapolis Colts, I have their needs as wide receiver if they lose Alec Pierce, right tackle, defensive tackle, edge rusher, and safety. Who you got for the Colts?
Well, I'm going to assume that what you just said is correct. They're going to lose out on Pierce. And if you're going to lose one speedy receiver, you may as well go out and get another one. So I'm going to give them Seattle Seahawk receiver Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, that would be a good fit. If you do lose Alec Pierce, he's not as good as Pierce, but that would make a ton of sense. Yeah, I like that fit. All right, who do I have? Did I just lose? I just lost it. Oh, no, here we go. Yeah, I think they want to re-sign Alec Pierce. I think they want to re-sign Braden Smith, the right tackle. Roger McCreary, cornerback, I think would be a great fit. He's a longtime Titan. He was traded to the Rams at deadline. He's a slot corner. They could really use a slot corner. And they also had Jalen Thompson, safety, Arizona Cardinal safety, who's a free agent. They really need a safety. And you know what Jalen Thompson is? He's just reliable. He's not a playmaker. He's just a very reliable. He'll do his job, and they could use a player like that. So those are two I had written down. Houston Texans, their needs are the entire offensive line. I have offensive tackle, guard, center, wide receiver, and only one defense because their defense is incredible. Defensive tackle. So who you got for the Texans? Is it an offensive player?
It is an offensive player, but it is not any of those people that you have as their need. This is, I think, the only one that I went away with what you put down in your notes because, ladies and gentlemen, I had Cheez's notes earlier in the week, so I was able to go back and look at them. He says offensive tackle, guard, center, wide receiver, defensive tackle. I looked at CJ Stroud last year and said he was the reason more than anything else that they missed the playoffs. I want to bring in a person who I think will challenge him and will push him to be a better version of CJ Stroud. Maybe he got a little knocked off course, and I don't know exactly what happened there. I love CJ. I hope he rebounds. And I'm going to give him a veteran quarterback that I think Houston can bring in on not really a minimal deal because this veteran quarterback has made a ton of money in his and he's got the best agent in the world. I don't know who it is, but if I was a football guy, I'd be like, give me Kirk Cousins' agent. I want the Houston Texans to bring in Kirk Cousins and push CJ Stroud to be a better quarterback.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's possible. I don't think they're going to do that, but I get what your reasoning makes a ton of sense. But Stroud has gotten worse each year. He had one of the most incredible rookie seasons ever, and he's getting worse. And the offensive line's getting worse. So maybe it's not.
And you're right, I agree with you. But if he continues to get worse, at least you've got a quarterback that you can plug in there, and you can bench him and say, "Look, man, okay, we're done with this." And you and I both know that this coming year's 2-year draft from now, not this coming one, the next one is quarterback rich. So if you get to the point and you're like, you know what, we are done with CJ Stroud, then you can get another quarterback in that draft.
Yeah, makes sense. This is what Mike does. He makes me think. There you go. You've done this twice.
That's kind of off the wall over here. I'm not the traditional football guy that you are, so I'm kind of the off the wall crazy guy over here.
All right. All right. So once again, I wrote 2 names down. There's a really good guard that is just never healthy, but the Texans are desperate. Elijah Vera Tucker from the Jets. He's a first-round pick. When he's played like a Pro Bowler every snap, but he's never healthy. But why not take a chance with the Texans? And then DJ Reader, we talked about, they could use a big, 330-pound defensive tackle. I think that'd be a great fit for the Texans. Jacksonville Jaguars. I have their needs. I added one because I forgot it, but running back, center, defensive tackle, linebacker, corner, and safety. Who you got for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, again, there's some of these that were really, really difficult. There's some of these teams that have so many needs that you have to have like a dictionary to go through and figure out who all they are and who all is out there that can fill those needs for them. I don't think that's the case with Jacksonville. Jacksonville needs to go out and put all their eggs in one free agent basket, and his name is Tyler Lindenbaum. They need a center. He's dynamic in the running game. I get it. He's not great at pass protection, but this is what they need. Pay the man what he wants to be paid, which is probably going to be a lot, and bring him into Jacksonville and make a splash.
Tyler Lindenbaum, I don't think they're one of the teams that's in on him. That would be, God, Trevor Lawrence would be so happy. I think it's pretty much between the Ravens and the Raiders, more on that when we talk about the AFC West. But boy, that would be such a big get for the Jaguars. Oh my gosh. So I actually have 3 names written down for the Jaguars because I think they're such great fits. So I'm going to mention 3.
Okay.
So they're going to lose Travis Etienne. Kenneth Gainwell coming off a great year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He fit their scheme. Need a defensive tackle, Daquan Jones, former Buffalo Bill. I think he'd be a great fit there. And then James Pierre, corner. He was never like a really great player until this year for the Steelers and had a tremendous year. And, they could use another corner. They have 2 corners that are free agents, 2 of their top 3 corners. So, I think they'd all be great fits. So I cheated. I wrote down 3 names. Okay. Right. Let's go to the NFC East. We're going to do the New York Giants.
Well, I tell you what, before we do that, this is the spot where we were going to do the pros and cons of building a team with free agency, right?
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do, Cheese. I'm going to give you an example on this. And then I kind of want you to, we're going to use the Arizona Cardinals, all right? One of the 2 teams that I really root for. I was raised in Cincinnati, so I've still got them. But I live here in Arizona now, and I almost feel what I want to say, like I have to root for them because I'm in their city, right? So everyone, well, I'm not moving.
Do you have to root for the Bengals too?
I could lie about where I used to be brought up, right? No, I don't want to do that. Anyway, I still love Burrow and Chase and a lot of those guys over there. And, I even love Trey Hendrickson. I know I've mentioned him several times. Man, I can't wait to do this one in a minute.
Okay.
So everyone wants their team to get a top 10 pick in the draft. But if we use the Arizona Cardinals as an example, their 3rd pick is actually going to cost them roughly $9 million. And their entire draft class. Yes. I'm sorry, sir?
Yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm not used to you agreeing with me, so I had to stop and pause and make sure.
It's rare.
So it's going to cost them roughly $9 million for that pick. And then their entire draft class is probably going to cost them around 20 to 30 million or so.
About 20 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of this for players that are unproven in the NFL. I mean, maybe some of them have been great college players, but you and I both know we've had tons of busts. I mean, just start naming the first round picks of the Cincinnati Bengals, and you can just get tons of busts, right? Klingler and the Penn State running back, and
Keyjana Carter,
Keyjana Carter, that was it.
Keely Smith.
Yeah. So, okay, you can stop now. Players in free agency will cost you more, but I would say they're pretty much proven commodities by the time they get free agency, right? They're, the least age they are is usually like 26, 27, something like that. So in that sense, you kind of get what you pay for as well. So tell me, Cheese, what's the advantage and disadvantage of either saying, all right, I'm going to build our team through the draft and supplement it with free agents, or I'm going to supplement it with the draft and build it through free agency.
Most teams that win Super Bowls, the best franchises focus primarily building through the draft. You mentioned that the Cardinals, okay, it's $9 million cap hit for their 3rd overall pick, but they get the 3rd overall pick. They should not miss on that pick. They're getting one of the best players in college football. So $20 million. I think the Raiders, it's like $22 million. They have the most draft capital. They're the 1st, 14th, and 34th pick. So theirs is like $22 million, something like that. That's actually not a lot of cap room when you look at the entire cap. It really isn't. I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, you're not supposed to miss on draft picks. You're supposed to hit on them. You're supposed to take the best player available. And if you hit on your draft picks, then you don't have to worry about it. You don't actually, when you hit on draft picks, if you have 2 or 3 good drafts in a row, then you don't have a lot of needs in free agency. And free agents get overpaid. Almost every free agent and every year gets overpaid. Every once in a while, there's some guy gets like 1 year, $3 million that ends up being way better. But almost every free agent gets way overpaid. So the best thing to do is build through the draft. 4th, 5th, 6th round picks, you hit on those picks, they're so cheap. And you control them for 4 years. So trade down, get a lot of picks, build through the draft. But once again, you have to have a good drafting GM. It doesn't work if you have a GM that just keeps missing on picks year after year after year. And 1st round pick is so important. Not only is it a high cap number, but it's guaranteed 4 years. It's guaranteed 4-year contract. So if you miss on him and after 2 years, he's just terrible, you still have to pay him the next 2 years. Releasing him or trading him is not going to help your cap. It's not. You still have to pay him. And so I am definitely a build through the draft guy. I'm a Ted Thompson, former Packer GM, Ron Wolf, build through the draft, re-sign your best players, let the bad ones go in free agency, get compensatory picks, trade down, and just keep drafting. That's how you replace the guys you lose in free agency. Now, to answer your second question, what is the advantages and disadvantage? Well, the disadvantage of the draft mode is if you miss on draft picks, you're screwed, because that's how you primarily build your team. If you keep missing on picks, you're not going to have a good roster because you have bad players. Missing on a 1st round pick is devastating. Like I said, not just for the money, but there are 1st round picks. You have to play them. You don't want to admit you missed on a 1st round pick. So you keep playing them until you're finally, okay, we can't. So that's a big disadvantage. You have to hit on them. So what are the advantage and disadvantage of free agency? You said it. They're a proven player. You've seen them play in the NFL before. Mm-hmm. That's a huge advantage. So free agency is about need. It's about filling a specific need at a specific position, and you have a value. Every team has a value on every position or every player. We'll go this high, but we won't. We'll pay this much. And the highest team most of the time gets it. Sometimes players will take less for a certain team, but it's all about need. The problem with free agency is players, a lot of them are older. They'll never perform better than they did before. Like I said, you're overpaying them. If you sign a free agent and they perform, they're just okay, they're just league average, that's going to piss off fans because they're never going to live up. Most free agents don't. Like, I think the analytics say like 63% of free agents don't even come close to playing as well as the money they get. You're going to piss off the fan base because you gave this player $17 million a year and he's not even that good. He's okay. When you could get a 3rd or 4th round pick, I call them replacement level players, mid-round picks, that's just as good. That's a disadvantage of free agency. And if you miss on a bunch of free agents, then your cap situation is going to be bad and your team's going to underachieve because they're not going to live up to what the contract is. So I prefer the draft and develop mode. I mean, you got to use both. The best teams use both. Even the Seattle Seahawks, they're more of a draft and develop team, but same with the Eagles, but they still went out and got key free agents at certain positions to fill needs. So use free agency to fill a few needs, but don't use it primarily to build your roster.
Okay. I just wanted to have that conversation with you because, like I said, and then there's the second part of it, right? Look at Kyler Murray. So, if you stick with the Cardinals, what about that? Let's discuss that. And
yeah.
So they signed him the only the only number one pick ever by the Arizona Cardinals. He basically didn't do a whole lot for them. They paid him a ton of money, and now he's leaving. I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I guess he had a couple good years in there. He started off
a
pretty
little,
good.
but okay.
No, he started off pretty good. There was potential. Like his first 3 years, he gave you hope. You're like, okay, he's going to be, if he keeps getting better after, because most quarterbacks, it's like you get to year 4, 5, 6, that's when you start hitting your stride. And he never did that. He got hurt, and then he just got worse. He just wasn't as good of a player. So that's what happened with Murray. They paid him because, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, it's so hard to find a franchise quarterback. You just hope that he works out. A lot of people will pay quarterbacks. The Dolphins paid Tua, hoping that he would keep getting better. He got worse. Same thing. It's so hard to find quarterbacks. And Kyler Murray, I'm about to mention him coming up when we talk about a team.
Excellent.
But
I've got him down for 1-2.
There was just a disconnect. Just watching him play, I don't know if he just kind of checked out after he got paid. There's a disconnect, and it just didn't seem like he really wanted to be there at times. And like I said, he gets hurt a lot, and he needs to change the scenery. And he will be an absolute steal for wherever he goes to, whether he's a backup or starter, because they can sign him for the league minimum because the Cardinals are basically paying his contract this year, even though they're going to release him. Same thing happened with Russell Wilson. The Steelers got him for next to nothing.
Right.
So, yeah, Kyler Murray, he's there. There is some team going to go out there, and I'll predict it in a second. It's going to desperately want him and make them their starter just because we want to hope. We think we can get him to what people expect him to be. We think we can do that.
Okay, interesting. All right, so here we are. Let me reset this for us for a second. And then, of course, Cheese, again, as I said in the very beginning, if you weren't with us back then, shame on you, first of all, but thank you for joining us now. We're doing our free agency special where we discuss the needs of all 32 NFL teams. We're at the halfway point here of the show. So we'll give you the needs as Cheese wrote them all out for us. And then the two of us will fill their needs. I don't think any of us have done the same player we did one. We did one earlier in the show where you had to pick your secondary person, but other than that, we've come up with different people. Who was that?
Let me scroll back up.
That's okay. I couldn't remember. I've got, like I said, I've got so much stuff around me. If people could see it, they'd be like, "God, you're a disorganized mess." But I'm usually not like this. But it's a little different for me. This was a lot to do. This was a lot of. I mean, it's all football for this show, and that's not usually the way we work. It's usually some football, some NFL, some college, some baseball, and all that. So.
Oh, it was Chargers. Devin Lloyd. I think you said Devin Lloyd Chargers. Okay. Yeah.
This was a lot of work. So the other thing that we'll do here before it's all said and done, of course, is our over on our X account, All Gloves Off SM. We have our poll question up right now, and that is this. Based on everything that we're going to do here today, all 32 of these teams, the needs that they have, and who they're going to fill them with, how many NFL free agents do you expect your team to sign in the first 48 hours of this crazy time it's about to happen here of NFL free agency? Your choices are 1, 3, 4 or more, or 0. And I'll tell you, 2 of them are really close, and then 2 other ones are really close. So get on over there. All Gloves Off SM on X. Vote for that poll question, and we will add you to it and discuss everything here momentarily. But I know you want to get back to this stuff, Cheese, NFC East. Go ahead, buddy.
New York Giants, their needs are wide receiver, tight end, tackle, guard, center, offensive line, linebacker, and corner. Who you got for the New York Giants?
I'm going to take your first one, and I may hurt you a little bit here, but I'm gonna take a guy, Romeo Doubs.
Okay.
I think he'd be a good compliment for them. Again, this is another one of those teams that I'm not sure about their defense, but their offense is improving. We both love Scatterboo, and you're a little unsold on Jackson Dart. I'm probably a little more sold on him than you are. They do have one really good wide receiver as well. He was injured the majority of this year, but I think you give them another one to complement that. And again, it's just like an earlier team I mentioned. Just let them score as many points as humanly possible and cross your fingers when the defense gets on the field.
Okay. Yeah, more on Romeo Dobbs later. Yeah, I like that fit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you're going to go. There's like 10 or 12 teams rumored for him. So basically anyone that needs a wide receiver. So I have, if I'm completely losing my notes. There we go.
I'm jinxing you. I keep saying I've got so many, and now you're losing all of yours.
Once again, I wrote down 2 names. Ed Ingram, the guard from the Houston Texans, really good run blocker. Giants need better run blocking. They absolutely do. He would be a fit. And Alex Singleton, linebacker, formerly of the Broncos. They need off-ball linebacker after they cut Bobby Okereke. So they need off-ball linebacker. So Alex Singleton, to me, would be a good choice as well. I didn't pick anyone super big for them because why would someone big want to go to the Giants because they're terrible. Okay. Next, we have Washington Commanders. I have wide receiver, tight end, center, edge rusher, defensive tackle, linebacker, corner, and safety. All 5 positions on the defense. Defense has been a huge problem for them, especially this past year. Who you got for the Washington Commanders?
So this is a guy that I don't think they're going to have to spend a whole lot of money on. He's probably not going to be their first choice, but he's the one that I want to highlight because I think he's a really good buy low candidate that can really help them. And that's Travion Diggs. I'd buy low. I know he had a brutal stretch and he wasn't real great with the Dallas Cowboys, but I would take a chance on him. And if I'm the Washington Commanders, I like this move. Travion Diggs, cornerback, going to the Commanders in free agency.
Okay. You got to help Jaden Daniels. And there's a Super Bowl MVP available, which is rare. It's like having 4 times ever. And they could use a running back. Kenneth Walker, I think, would be a great fit for their scheme for Washington. Great zone runner. Like I said, Jaden Daniels, he needs more help. I think they can dress wide receiver in the draft. I also had David Onyemata, defensive tackle from the Falcons. Very good run defender. He's 33 years old, but they really need a really good run defender on defensive line. So I put him as well. Okay, Dallas Cowboys. I have running back, left tackle, edge rusher, cornerback, and linebacker. Who you got?
Hang on here. I lost my Dallas guy.
I'm supposed to go first anyway. Do you want me to go ahead and go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I got Bowie Mafe, edge rusher from Seattle. He was a 2nd-round pick. He's a good player. He's just not a great player. But, Seattle had all that depth at edge rusher. Only 2 sacks this past year. That probably doesn't look great. But at the same time, he's better than that. They just had a lot of players on that defensive line. And no, he's not Micah Parsons. Not even close. But still, he would upgrade their edge rusher. And, I think it'd be a great fit. We'll see you put. I also have somebody else. But
what do you have? I should have let you go first because I also picked Bowie Mafe for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm with you. They lost one of the better edge rushers in football. You've got to replace him. I understand. They're not even comparable to each other. But hang on. Let's get to one of our guys here.
Okay.
Seriously trying to get Max Crosby. I'll let you speak on this because I know in your video that you did, you said it would be insane for them to give up Micah Parsons just to go out and get Crosby, to trade those 2 picks, kind of back and forth. Do you still have that opinion, or has it changed a little bit now that Crosby has been picked up by Baltimore?
I think the Cowboys' rumors for Max Crosby were insiders, just knowing they need an edge rusher, just trying to put another team out there for leverage. I do not believe they were serious. You cannot give up 2 first-round picks for Parsons and then you can't get 2 first-round picks and then give them right back for Max Crosby. You can't, because Micah Parsons is younger and he's a better player. So I never believed the Cowboys were in on. They may have been, but it would have been nowhere near what Baltimore gave up. My guess is maybe a first and then maybe like a 4th or 5th, something like that. There's no way they would have given up near what the Ravens did. So I never thought they were a serious candidate. To me, it was sounds like it was Baltimore and everybody else. All the other teams interested picked like way later in the draft, like 25th, 27th, or something like that, and Baltimore picks 14th. So it just sounded like they were by far the front runner. I never thought they were a serious candidate. And the Bears don't have the cap room. The Eagles don't. Those rumors were insane. They just don't have the cap room to take on that contract.
I have to say, though, I mean, everybody and their mom pretty much knew they were probably going to trade him, and they got a pretty good haul for Max Crosby, to be honest. So I gotta give them a little bit of credit there, that they did get what they got for him. At least I thought it was a pretty good haul.
It was more than I expected, especially a guy who's had injury issues the last couple of years. And I feel like the Baltimore was like, we're not going to pick 14 typically, so let's take advantage of it and use the picks to get a player.
All right, Louis, I see your question. We'll get to it when we get to that team because we haven't got to that team yet. We will answer that question once we do get to that team. Cheese, what's our next team going up, buddy?
The next team we have, I keep losing my notes. Oh, Philadelphia. No, do we do the?
Yes,
yeah,
that's right, Philly.
Oh, well, I just want to say we both said Bowie Mafe. Quincy Williams, the linebacker from the Jets. Dallas needs an off-ball linebacker, and Quinnen Williams was traded there. Brothers could be reunited. So just saying. That was my other guy. Okay. Philadelphia Eagles, wide receiver, tight end, edge rusher, cornerback, safety. So the thing with the Philadelphia Eagles, if they trade A.J. Brown, wide receiver becomes a humongous need. You could argue it's already a need. They need number 3 wide receiver. Just wanted to mention that. Who you got with the Eagles?
Okay, so you want me to start going first again? I tell you what, let me go first again because you have 2 and I only have 1. So just in case, I think that makes more.
Let you go first. Yeah, let's let you go first. Okay.
All right, that's fine. So I have a question for you on my pick here first.
Okay.
Let me tell you who it is. Kwity Paye is who it is. Edge rusher.
Kwity Paye.
Not really an edge rusher per se, but an edge anchor. Maybe I think you like using the word anchor, right?
He's a big edge. He's one of those like close to 300-pound edge. Because he's super athletic for his size, yeah.
So why did the Colts give him his 5th-year option, and now it looks like they're going to let him go? What's the deal with that? And can you explain that to our fans a little bit? The 5th-year option, and now you're going to let him go? Didn't they kind of screw this up, kind of like not as much as the Bengals did Hendrickson, but it's kind of in that same ballpark, right?
Yeah. The thing with the 5th-year option is a lot of GMs, especially Ballard, who's been there forever. If they drafted the guy, they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to admit they screwed up the 1st-round pick. He's not a bad player. He's just not a very good player. He's above average. He's a decent player. And if you don't pick up the option, you're admitting you're wrong. Why do you think Brian Gutekunst picked it up on Darnell Savage, one of the worst safeties in NFL history? Why do you think he picked it up with Devontae White, who's a good player, not a great player? Like GMs, if they drafted the player and they're at least above average, they're going to pick up the option. And that's what Kwity Paye is. And they don't want to be wrong. I'm like, no, I picked it up because he's a good player. It's an ego thing. And that's what I think happened with Kwity Paye.
Okay. So I'm going to give Kwity Paye to the Eagles. I also want to say this. You said it in the beginning, and I think you're 100% right. I think that's why this was so hard for me as a guy who's not necessarily a great NFL guy like you are. It was hard for me because a lot of these people in the draft, you've got 5 or 6 that are upper echelon at their position, and then a whole bunch of people. I mean, there's probably 40 people in this draft that are just a tick above or a tick below or average. One of those 3 things. There's nobody that just blows you away. At this point, I mean, I know they need a wide receiver. I know they might use a tight end, but I gave him this guy at the edge because no real wide receiver I had left really blew me away. And the same thing with tight end. So I went with the edge guy for him.
Ideally, if you're a franchise, you want to have 2 or 3 needs total because you've drafted so well. And you use free agents, you fill those needs. And in the draft, you can just take the best player available, regardless of positions. You can look 1 or 2 years in free agency ahead. And we'll fill those positions. We're going to lose this guy in free agency. We'll just fill it now. And that's what do they always say? Draft the player the year before you need them. And Kwity Paye, the same thing. Yeah, he's a solid starter, and that's what a lot of these free agents are. Okay, so the thing with the Eagles is they have a bad cap situation. They can't really go out and spend much. So I have a couple real cheap free agents. Evan Neal was a 1st-round bust to the Giants. the Eagles had so much luck going after, like Mekhi Becton is a perfect example, going after offensive linemen that struggled, the first round bust, and then just getting the most out of them. So I think they could sign him. And Jalen Naylor, wide receiver for the Vikings, he was like a 6th round pick, and he's been the number 3 receiver of the Vikings. And when he's had an opportunity, he's played well. So I think, especially if they trade AJ Brown, I think he could be a good, under the radar signing. Okay. Next up, AFC East. We have the New York Jets. Lot of needs here. Quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, center, guard, edge rusher, linebacker, cornerback, and safety. All right,
Ooh.
Jets. I'm out of breath.
Copy.
The entire team. Who you got?
Well, I mean, we have said it before. You can't win if you don't have a good quarterback. So it's tempting for me to give them one, but I'm not sure if there's a good one out here. So I'm not. I'm going to reestablish their defense for them with a guy who's a sure tackler, hits hard, but he plays with an almost kind of unhealthy, I'm going to go get these guys and smash somebody. I would think that the Jets could calm him down because, that seems like that's what they teach over there in New York is, do 75% of your best and it'll be just fine. And we'll just keep stinking and it's fine. So I'm going to give them safety, Brian Cook.
Okay. More on him later when we talk about the North.
Okay.
You mentioned quarterback. Like I said, I have 2 written down. Why not take a shot? We've seen Sam Darnold. We've seen Baker Mayfield. Maybe Malik Willis. Why not go get Mitch Trubisky? The Bears didn't develop him because Matt Nagy was the head coach and he's terrible. And when he's filled in for Josh Allen, he's looked very good. Why not sign Mitch Trubisky? Maybe you get something out of him. Maybe he shows you something closer to being the 2nd overall pick when the Bears made him out of North Carolina. I think that'd be a great fit. And you talked about Jalen Phillips earlier. Jets have a lot of cap room. Jalen Phillips is, you thought Adoe Ofe is the best edge rusher available. I think it's Jalen Phillips, and he's still pretty young. And the Jets need an edge rusher, so I think Jalen Phillips. I think they could, throw the money at him, and I think that'd be a good fit. Miami Dolphins.
What's Louis saying here, buddy? Maybe you know what this is.
Of course. Can I give you a quarterback shout? Yes, or 3 actually.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, Kyler Murray, Will Levis. We talked about Kyler Murray. I guess you're a little late. We talked a lot about Kyler Murray already. Mac Jones would have to be traded. He is with the 49ers. The rumor is they won't even take a 2nd round pick for him. So it'd be a 2nd round pick and more picks, maybe even a 1st rounder. So he's not going anywhere.
I do the same thing.
And Will Levis, Louis, why in the world would anyone want Will Levis on the team? He is one of the worst performing quarterbacks I've ever seen in my entire life. He makes some of the dumbest throws you could possibly make. He's got talent, but I just don't. I would not want Will Levis at all in any way.
Not even a flyer?
Not even a flyer. He's the backup in the Tennessee. He's just he's a maniac. Like he will, if he gets pressure, he'll just chuck it up whenever. And not in a cool way like Brett Favre making plays, like in a bad way, in the worst possible way you could ever do. So he said victim of bad Titans coaching. Maybe, but I'm not touching Will Levis.
Yeah, but you just said the same thing with another quarterback not a minute and a half ago, right?
Mitch Trubisky, yeah, I'd like Mitch Trubisky a lot more than Will Levis. Maybe you can convince me, but I wouldn't give up anything for Will Levis. If he's a free agent, I'd sign him to like the 1 year minimum just to see if you have something. But no, not.
Okay. Well, you and Louis can disagree. We're allowed to do that on this show because you and I disagree quite often.
I get what he's saying. He has tools. He has a big arm. There was even a rumor that he could be up there with C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. Like 24 hours before the draft, there's a rumor he could go up there, like a top 5, and falls to the early 2nd round of the Titans. University of Kentucky quarterback. He has tools, but God, his decision making, his handling pressure is horrible. He's just really bad. Reminds me of Kyle Bowler, the former Baltimore Raven Cal quarterback. Same thing. Big arm, tools, just a disaster when you got pressure. But who knows? Maybe.
But I will say, Louis, you're a frequent contributor. We appreciate you coming on. We do appreciate all the first timers as well. But whether you're a frequent or a first time, comment. Like I say, as long as you guys stay on topic with us and don't send us crazy stuff like some of the other people have who I've not put up here, then we will put you up here, and that's a guarantee. We love it when you guys participate. Where are we going next, Cheese?
Okay, so Miami Dolphins, they need everything: quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, tackle, guard. That's 5 positions on offense. Defensive tackle, cornerback, and safety. Who you got with the Miami Dolphins?
Well, the Miami Dolphins are in this same boat, right? They need a quarterback as well. Just, the same things that Louis is talking about right now. Louis says, you listen what you're saying. Yeah, Cheese. Decision making and poor IQ is a solvable problem, but power and accuracy is much harder to develop. Would you agree with that statement, Cheese?
Poor IQ is not. I cannot have a quarterback with poor IQ.
Okay, and I was going to kind of say the same thing. I agree with that. But
no, like he has talent. Like you have to have talent. There's no doubt about it. So I think that's what he meant. But a quarterback that is a low IQ that can't process information quickly. That's so important. Just watch Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. Just watch them quickly, like how quickly they go through progressions. Why they're Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Just watch that. And a lot of quarterbacks that fail cannot do that. Zach Wilson's a perfect example. Zach Wilson was the number 2 overall pick of the Jets. He's now on his 3rd team. That dude has as much talent as anyone. He's athletic. He's got 75, maybe 80-yard arm. That guy cannot process anything. That guy is staring at the pass rushers. He's so worried about, like, he just cannot read a defense to save his life. He does not have it. And unfortunately, he will never be good because of it. So you have to have it up here.
But I don't want to get off on this too much of a tangent here, but I kind of have to agree with Louis here with you, because you're giving me an example of another person who went to a terrible team, and now you're saying he's a terrible quarterback. Maybe it's the terrible team that he went to.
We'll see. He's been on Denver. Now he's on Miami, I think. Maybe somebody gives him a chance. He's a free agent. So maybe somebody gives him a chance. Will Levis is still under contract with the Titans. They'd have to trade for him. But yeah, maybe Zach Wilson. Maybe one of these teams that needs a quarterback goes after Zach Wilson. You're right. The Jets. Being drafted by the Jets. There's a rumor that Dante Moore of Oregon went back to school, not just for NIL, because he didn't want to be a Jet. His people reached out to the Raiders. They said, we're taking Mendoza. You're not going to be the first pick. And he's like, I do not want to be a Jet. And I'm going back to school to prevent being a New York Jet. I'm not joking. This is not a joke that quarterbacks do not want to go there. It's been a disaster. Every quarterback that goes there is better off when they leave. Like Geno Smith got better. Sam Darnold just won the freaking Super Bowl. Get the heck out of there, So, yeah.
All right. So he says Miami Dolphins needs a whole bus from Canada. I'll agree, but we can only give him one. I did something with this pick that I haven't done with any other picks so far, and I don't think I'm going to do it with any other picks from here on out. I gave them a person based on their coaching staff and the relationships with their coaching staff. Yes.
Okay.
So the defensive coordinator in Miami is a guy who you know really well. His name's Jeff Hafley, right? So I'm going to give him a guy that you gave out earlier. I'm going to give Miami a linebacker, 26 years old. And I'm going to give them Quay Walker because of his connection with Jeff Hafley.
That's very possible. Yeah, they know Quay very well. Yeah, he was defense coordinator the last 2 years in Green Bay. So I wrote down 2 names. Well, one of them I'm gonna save one for later. Obviously, Malik Willis. I brought him up. The quarterback for Arizona or Miami, connection with Green Bay. But a different Packer. Miami Dolphins need offensive line. And Rasheed Walker, left tackle, Green Bay Packers. I won't say very good. He's a good pass blocking left tackle. He's a terrible run blocker, but Miami needs everything. They need everything on the offensive line. It's an absolute disaster. It's one of the worst rosters in the NFL, and they know him. And he's 26, Rasheed Walker. So he could, you can put him at left tackle. Yeah, move the left tackle into guard. You need everything if you're the Dolphins. So yeah, Rasheed Walker to the Dolphins. All right,
Okay.
Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, I have a lot of needs for them. Pretty much everything on defense. This is the strangest team in the NFL because they have so many holes on the roster, yet they always make it far in the playoffs because they have an amazing quarterback. I have them. Well, let's delete center because they re-signed him. So let me delete that. But they need a wide receiver, guard, defensive tackle, edge rusher, linebacker, cornerback, and safety. Everything on defense. Who you got for the Bills?
This is interesting to me. And I want to make sure I didn't give them somebody else here. No, okay. All right. I think you've got a guy who seems at age 40 is still a great player, but is just chasing a ring. You go to Buffalo, you might get one. So I'm going to give Buffalo a 40-year-old defensive lineman who we're not sure if he's actually going to retire. He'll turn 40 on September 1st. And he just kind of makes every team better when he joins that team. You got a guess as to who this guy is yet?
I know exactly who it is. Do you want me to tell you or you want to say it?
No, go ahead. Tell me who it is.
It's Calais Campbell.
It's Calais Campbell. Yes.
It is.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm going to send Calais Campbell to Buffalo and cross my fingers that one of these good guys can go get a ring.
Okay. Mentioned him earlier, Mike Evans. I think he goes back to Tampa, or I think he'll go to Buffalo. Josh Allen can extend the play. He loves to just chuck it up. He's so good at getting away from pressure. Can you imagine him with Mike Evans? And Mike Evans can go up and get it as well as anyone. And I think Mike Evans will stay in Tampa unless he gets a better offer from a team he thinks he's closer to getting a ring with. And that makes a ton of sense. My other guy, Zion Johnson, left guard, formerly of the Chargers. The Bills left guard David Edwards is a free agent. Zion Johnson's not as good as Edwards, but he will be cheaper. So they could possibly sign Zion Johnson to fill that hole. New England Patriots, I have their needs. 6 needs, actually, which is a lot for a team that made the Super Bowl. Wide receiver, tight end, offensive tackle, guard, edge rusher, and safety. Who you got for the Patriots?
I'm going to give the Patriots a wild card guy. Thinking that Mike Vrabel can, we'll say, tame him. We'll say Mike Vrabel can
tame
him. Yes.
Okay.
A wide receiver who's 30 years old, who just came from Washington. He had splices of time where he looked really good, but I think in this kind of offense, Deebo Samuel can take off in a Patriots offense.
I could see that being a fit. Louis, yes, I think the Patriots need a tight end. They need to upgrade that position. I don't think it was good enough in the playoffs. I think they could definitely use an upgrade there. You had Austin Hooper. You had what's his name? His name escapes me. Hunter Henry. They could save like 8 or 9 million cutting Hunter Henry in salary cap, which is still possible. He's okay at this point. He's past his prime. I think they need to upgrade the position. They need more help around Drake May. The offense stunk in the playoffs. Let's be honest. The offense stunk. They had such an easy road to the Super Bowl, and it was a disaster when they went against really good defenses. So I definitely think they can upgrade tight end, although I don't have a tight end listed here. So I have Alec Pierce, wide receiver from the Colts. They could use a speed. Drake May's got a cannon arm. They need a speed guy. They don't have that. I honestly think that's going to be their number one target. I think they're going to throw whatever money at him. Just like Milton Williams last year, they threw whatever they could. They outbid the Panthers. They're going to do whatever they can to get Alec Pierce. Wrote one more name down. David Edwards. I just mentioned the Bills are going to lose him, left guard. I think Jared Wilson, their rookie left guard, is going to move into center. They traded Garrett Bradbury to the Bears, basically stole a 5th-round pick for a terrible center. And I think Wilson will move into center and the left guard. So David Edwards would be a great fit at left guard for the Patriots. But yeah, I absolutely think they need to upgrade tight end. All right. Next up, we're going to the north. We're almost done. 3/4 away there. And like I said, I left the north for last. That's our two favorite teams. His Bengals, mine with the Packers. We left it for last. This should be interesting. We'll start with the Detroit Lions. So their needs are, to me, running back, offensive tackle, guard, edge rusher, and cornerback. Who you got for Detroit Lions?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I skipped already. I skipped down. Okay. Detroit Lions.
You ready to talk about the Bengals?
Well, I was looking at the Browns because you're not helping me here. You said everything, and I'm looking at all my notes, going, okay, what do they really need?
Everything, like every single position they could upgrade. Every single position. You can make an argument that they could sign any position in free agency, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, so I was a little behind on this. If you listen to the very beginning of the show, Cheese told you I am in spring training mode. This was a show that I agreed to do where I like this, but I'm not the big football guy like Cheese is. This was really hard for me to go through and look at everything. So I'm making sure that I've got everything for everyone. But I tell you, I do have a fit for the Detroit Lions. Trey Hendrickson.
Stop it.
Yes. Put Trey Hendrickson on that line opposite of the other really good guy on the line, and let's go get a ring in Detroit. What do you say, Cheese?
Well, an edge rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson's been a need for 3 years, and they've not addressed it. They've addressed just about everything else. Defensive tackle, run stop and defensive tackle was a big need. They used Tyleik Williams was their first round pick. They seem to address every single need except that. I don't know why. I don't see it happening. I don't think they have the cap room. I get what you're saying. I think they're going to draft an edge rusher because it is a pretty good edge rusher draft. Why do they need a running back? Because they only have Jahmyr Gibbs. They don't have anyone behind him at all. They traded David Montgomery to the Texans. So someone like, I didn't put this, but like Rico Dowdle might be a good fit. They need a backup running back, or, they could draft one. It's just not a very good running back draft class. Offensive line's a problem. Center and left tackle losing Taylor Decker are a huge issue. So I have Warner listed, but I just want to quickly mention Braxton Jones could be a good fit left tackle, at least maybe a bridge if you draft a developmental left tackle. Luke Fortner, formerly Jaguar and Saint at center, could be a pretty good, fill-in center. They cut Graham Glasgow, but Jalen Watson, cornerback, formerly the Kansas City Chiefs, he's, maybe the best corner available. He's been very good for several years for the Chiefs. The problem with him is how many good Chiefs corners have been good once they left the Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo is just really good at putting them in the best position possible, either in zone or in man or blitzing. He just is so good at using his corners. And every corner that seems to leave there is worse off. That's the only issue I have with it, but they need a corner really bad. And Terrion Arnold, first round pick in 2024. He's got some legal issues. Who knows what's going to happen? So I think Jalen Watson would make a lot of sense in Detroit. Okay. Minnesota Vikings. I have the needs as running back. They cut Aaron Jones. I'm going to delete tight end because they kept. I thought they were going to release T.J. Hawkinson. They agreed to a restructured deal. So I got running back, center, defensive tackle, corner, and safety. Who you got for the Vikings?
So the Vikings, let's see how many people we can get going in the chat with this one.
Okay, here we go. Because I have somebody big too.
Okay. So, and by the way, Louis, we love people who are humble enough to say, "Oh, I missed that," and yeah. So thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. And I'll get to your Baltimore question when we get to the Ravens here in just a moment. But right now we're on the Minnesota Vikings. I'm afraid we're going to have the same person here, but I'm going to give you this. So this year, there'll be a trade in the NFL draft that I want to talk about right now. And it involves the Minnesota Vikings. Yes. So
breaking news.
The Minnesota Vikings are going to trade J.J. McCarthy to the Arizona Cardinals for that third-round pick. And then they're going to sign in free agency, Malik Willis.
Hold on. I'm not trying to keep it like I'm sorry, what?
You heard me. You just didn't want to.
I'm sorry, what? So they
what
used
part
the
of it-
10th overall
my
pick on
analogy
J.J.
did not
McCarthy
make-
2 years later. Oh, no, let's just go through it. They used the
Okay.
10th overall pick on J.J. McCarthy.
Mhm.
2 years later, they're going to give up on him and trade him for a third rounder, mid-third rounder to Arizona.
Yes.
Okay. And then they're going to sign Malik Willis to be their starter and go all in on him.
Correct.
Do you just want this to happen? Is this your wish? Do you want
So are
J.J.
you telling me
McCarthy?
you don't think so are you telling me you don't think it's viable?
No, I don't think it's going to happen. But no, my question: you're an Arizona Cardinal fan most of the time. Do you want this? Do you want J.J. McCarthy for a third round pick? Would you do that trade?
For a third round pick, yes, because I was also the guy who was willing to take like Trinidad Chambliss on a third round until he got re-signed by Ole Miss. I don't want them to use the first round pick on a quarterback. I really don't want them to use the second round pick on a quarterback. But if you give me somebody with some upside on that third or fourth round, then I'm okay with it. And I don't think they'll take a fourth round pick for him because, like you said, they just did the 10th pick in the overall draft 2 years ago for him. So they have to get something for him. In fact, I don't know if they'll take the third round pick, to be honest, but they might if they can sign Malik Wilson and get him in a camp. Then
Malik
they'll
Willis,
look
yeah.
as, okay, we can get rid of JJ now.
I just don't think you can take a third round pick for a guy you just used a first round pick on 2 years ago.
That's the stretch part.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year you could do that. I just don't see it happening. I get why. That's a fun thing to think about. I did not see it coming. I don't think you can take that. And I don't know what the Vikings are thinking about JJ McCarthy. I have no idea. There are people that think they still like him. They still believe in him. There are people that think that, hey, we're going to pretend like we still believe in you, but we need to get a veteran. But so Kyler Murray, I don't think he's the best fit for their offense, like some people say, but Kevin O'Connell's a good coach. I mean, he could design offense around him, but Kyler Murray, the Vikings, it's been rumored. It just makes sense. It's the best option for probably Kyler Murray as far as like receiving core and just to win. I don't think Pittsburgh's a good fit at all. Mike McCarthy's offense, I don't see it. Why would you go to the Jets? Why would you go to the Browns? Why would you go to the Dolphins? So I think Kyler Murray, I think it's pretty, I'd be shocked. I think it's like 80% of chance, maybe 89% that he goes to the Vikings and 11% everywhere else. So I had to bring that up. I did write down a couple more. I thought you were going to say Kyler Murray, so I wrote down a couple more. Tyler Algier, you mentioned. I think he'd be a great fit there. They released Aaron Jones. And Lloyd Cushenberry, center. Ryan Kelly, their center, retired. Lloyd Cushenberry was released by the Titans, veteran center. I think he could fit their scheme as well. Okay. We have a long comment from, here we go. There it is.
Yeah, why don't quarterback needy teams go to somewhere like the Canadian Football League or something like that instead of trying to get retreads from the NFL?
I think back then, quarterback just wasn't as important, so you had more breakouts in CFL. Now teams, any chance a quarterback has tools or is close, they're going to make the NFL. I just don't think there's as many good quarterbacks in the CFL as there was back then. That's why. But no, that's a good question, William. Trust me, teams will do anything and everything to try to find the best quarterback. It's a quarterback-driven league, and it's the most important position in sports. Green Bay Packers. Okay. Their needs are, well, I'm going to delete center. It's still a need. They signed Sean Ryan. He's terrible.
If you don't, and by the way, if you haven't got a chance to do it, go to Cheez's spot. Go to his YouTube page, or you can go to our X spot because I've put it on our X as well. I'll give you our X, and I'll let Cheese give you his spot to go to when he speaks here in a moment. You can go to All Gloves Off SM and see the video on it, or you can just go to Cheese's spot and listen to him go absolutely berserk for about 9 minutes, and then try to say, "Oh, there's a silver lining." That's really not much of a silver lining, but okay, whatever, Cheese.
You have no idea how long I recorded on that video. I cut it to 23 minutes, actually. Most of my videos are between 5 and 9 minutes, but I actually recorded 23. I didn't just talk about Sean Ryan. I talked about the whole situation of the Packers, and it's a disaster. And this is just one of those signings that I was shocked, but I shouldn't be. It's just they have bad people running their franchise, but the center apparently is not a need anymore. But anyway, here, let's go through it.
Okay.
But offensive line is still a need. Nose tackle, edge rusher, middle linebacker, and corner. Who do you have for the Green Bay Packers?
You mentioned this person earlier. He played with the Eagles, and then, as you promptly said, and I certainly agree with you, it's in my notes almost exactly the way you said it. He played his best ball in Pittsburgh. Offensive guard Isaac Siumalo. I think that's how you say it?
Sure. That's good enough. Probably.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go with it. What do you think about that, Cheese? That's who I would give the Packers. I think that's one of their bigger needs, and he would be a stud to fill that need for them.
He's going to get priced out. They don't have the cap room, especially after trading for what is his name? Zaire Franklin and signing Sean Ryan. They don't have the cap room. I wish he'd be the best guard on the team by far. But no, I don't see it happening. I wish. Yeah,
I'm trying to speak it into existence for you, buddy.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
So
Unlike
I
you do
wrote
with my
down
Bengals, but hey.
I wrote down 6 names because
Wow.
it's my team. I used to see how many I have for the Bengals. Yeah, it's your team. Well, no, because they have
sure
limited cap space.
Terrible. I'm
they
sure
have
none
limited
of them
cap
are a
space.
top 100 person.
Just wait.
Okay.
The thing with the Packers, they have limited cap space. They can't go after any of the big names, in my opinion, unless they get really creative or make some crazy trade or something. But Charlie Kohler, tight end from Baltimore, he's a very good run blocking tight end. He's just underrated receiver. He's just the number 3 tight end because he's behind Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. So I think he'd be a good fit. They need a backup to Tucker Kraft because Luke Musgrave has been a bust. Calais Campbell. Oh my God, Jonathan Gannon, get him to follow you. The Packers need leadership. They need veteran. And Calais Campbell, he's not the pass rusher he used to be, but he's still a good run defender at 40 years old. It's crazy. He's still good. He's always good. Couple corners. Greg Newsome from the Jaguars, former first-round pick. Packers were really high on him 4 years ago. Very inconsistent, up and down, but like I said, they were high on him. He fits Jonathan Gannon's scheme. Trayvon Diggs, they had him briefly when they claimed him on waivers. They released him because they weren't going to pay him $15 million a year, but still they could bring him back. He has high upside. He's another corner is inconsistent, not coming off the best last couple of years. Your boy, Cam Taylor-Britt. Once again, he's been up and down. But the Packers need corner help, and they have to get creative. They can't go out and play the big name corners. Why not take a chance on Cam Taylor-Britt? He's not been great recently, but he's shown signs. And then Josh Jones just won a ring with the Seattle Seahawks, former Arizona Cardinal. He is a pretty good backup swing tackle, can play right tackle or left tackle. And Jordan Morgan is going to be their left tackle because they're losing Rasheed Walker. They need some kind of backup tackle, swing tackle. He should be pretty cheap. So why not go after Josh Jones? If Jordan Morgan is a disaster, which is very possible, they can at least put him out there. So, yes, I had a bunch of people listed for the Packers. Chicago Bear time. You ready? Okay. They need a left tackle, a center, an edge rusher, defensive tackle, linebacker, and safety. Who you got with the Chicago Bears?
Well, because I know a lot about the Bears because you know so much about the Packers, and I listen to all your videos, and you always trash the Bears all the time. So I knew that they didn't have very much cap space. So I went out and I was looking at different things that they need, and I got 2 names for you that I think they can get for cheaper, but they would still fill a need for them. I'll give you where I think they should go first and then second. Nakobe Dean, I think Nakobe is how you say his first right?
N'Kobe Dean, yeah.
Linebacker, I think, again, he's been hurt a lot, but he has a lot of speed. So I think the Bears could use him at linebacker. That was one of your needs that you put down for them. And
Yes.
then I could also see them going after Jaquan Brisker, the safety.
Well,
Again,
re-signing him, yeah, because he's
yeah,
with the Bears now.
re-signing him, and I think they could get him pretty cheap because of all of his, injury and concussion issues and stuff like that. So those are the two names that I put down for the Bears.
Before I get with the Bears, Louis has a hot take. Let's put that up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was not looking. I was doing something else.
It's fine. Yeah, Louis got a hot take, and I have a comment on it. It's interesting. Might disagree a little bit.
Hang on. Okay, I've got it. Man, there's all kinds of stuff since I haven't been looking.
Yeah.
You guys are doing great today as far as the comments and stuff goes. Thank you all very much for those.
And like, comment, subscribe, like Ramen said. Okay. Jordan Love I'm going to read it. I'm not going to agree with it, but I'm going to say Jordan Love is one of the worst kinds of quarterbacks to have. No, he's not. He's good enough where you never trade him, but not good enough to make a deep playoff run. He's I don't know who that is. So tell us who that is. Do you know who that is, Mike? Is that a soccer player?
No,
Paulo.
I don't know.
Bonchero?
Sounds like a soccer player name, but I don't know who that is.
So, could not disagree more. Jordan Love is close to being a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. It's not his fault. Oh wow, it's not his fault that the offensive line has gotten worse every year. Matt LaFleur won't let him. His play calling is terrible. Jordan Love's flooring off his back foot almost every play. It's not Jordan Love's fault. It's either the defense and the coaching or the special teams. That's the problem. Jordan Love is about to hit his prime. He can make all the throws. I will defend Jordan Love every time. And he's untradeable. You could offer 3 or 4 first-round picks for Green Bay. They'll be like, you're not getting Jordan Love. So I disagree. He is much higher level than that. It'd be interesting to see what quarterback is on that level. I'd have to think about it. But no, I think Jordan Love is about to surprise a lot of people if his offensive line would actually be decent, which I'm a little skeptical.
Okay. And I do agree with
Well, yeah, they win 9 or 10 games every year, and it's not Jordan Love's fault. It's not. None of it. He plays great. He had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost 5 if Christian Watson caught that ball. Almost 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they still lost. This is what Green Bay is. Bad coaching, bad special teams, bad defense, quarterback plays next level, and they still lose in the playoffs. Every other franchise, if their quarterback throws 4 touchdowns, no picks, they're going to win that playoff game, not Green Bay. He was amazing against the Bears. I rewatched it. He was even better than I thought. Some of the throws, he's on his back foot, 25 yards downfield, right on their hands. Jaden Reed dropped one late in the game, right on his hands toward the sideline, like 25, 30 yards downfield. Jordan Love is incredible quarterback, and so is Justin Herbert. He doesn't get a lot of help either. Anyway. Okay.
All right, that was a great rant. I love
8
it.
quarterbacks over Love. No, you can maybe get 5 or 6, but I'd not take 8 over Love. But it's better to listen to some people. Some idiots out there won't even put Love in the top 13. So he is an all-star in the NBA. Well, that's why I don't know who he is. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's who the person was. Yeah.
Chicago Bears. Bobby Okereke was released by the Giants. Bears don't have a great cap situation. I think he'd be a really good fit. He's coming off a down year. That's why he's released by the Giants. But Bears need a middle linebacker. He shouldn't be too expensive. And Reed Blankenship, free agent from the Eagles. Both Bears safeties are free agents. And Kevin Byard's, like a free agent. Reed Blankenship probably be a little cheaper. And he's, got a lot of experience, team leader, and won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. So I think those would be good fits. Are you ready for the AFC North? Last division. Here we go.
Yes. Yes, I am,
ready?
sir.
Are you sure? All right.
I am.
So I threw you off when I said Cleveland Browns. I just wrote everything. I didn't write down the actual list because it would have been every single position.
Yeah. It's okay. I've got one.
Okay. Cleveland Browns. Who's your free agent fit?
Everyone. So I circled. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to give them a guy who I think could make a difference on their team. So I kept looking, okay, where are these veteran guys? You know, like Bosa, well, he signed with the Browns. No, he's not going to give up his last few years playing for Cleveland. So
Let me stop you right there. I'm going to be gone for 10 seconds. But I can still hear you. Okay.
All right, no problem. Be gone for 10 seconds, sir. So, wow. All right, so we'll get to all these comments here in just a moment. I see them over here. You guys are catching me on times when I keep going back and forth, referring to notes and everything else. But I'll get there. All right. So I wanted to give Cheese the 10 seconds to do his thing and come back before I gave the answer to the question of who are the Cleveland Browns going to get. So I had to give them a younger player who I still think could make a difference, and who would want to sign with Cleveland because he was a backup somewhere else, and he wants to be the guy in the Cleveland Browns uniform. You mentioned him earlier. Rico, help me.
Rico
Dowdle, is that how you say his last name? Yeah,
the running back.
Carolina running back, yes. I'm not saying he can be a superstar. I think he can get better than what he was in Carolina, and I think he could do that with Cleveland. And I think he'd be a guy who would actually sign with them because he's not going to demand a high dollar. He's not done anything spectacular yet. Maybe he goes to Cleveland on a 2-year contract, does really well on Cleveland as their number one guy, and then gets paid, knowing that he's 26 years old right now. That put him at 28, and then maybe he can go back to the free agency bank and get some money. So that's who I gave to the Cleveland Browns as a running back that would take. I also thought about Marcus Mariota as well, but that's not a dynamic name, so I didn't put that out there as my first one.
I thought about him a couple places, but I did Mariota because he could be a bridge quarterback. I don't.
Those are the 8, by the way.
I don't think May. Caleb who? Caleb Williams? Caleb Williams is in my top 15. He's not. He's borderline top 20. T-Law? And he also wrote T-Law? Trevor Lawrence better than Jordan Love. You crazy? You crazy? Sorry, Louis. I completely disagree. May, God, when he faced good defenses in the playoffs, he was awful. He was terrible in the playoffs. And Caleb Williams, just analytics, doesn't even think he's a top 15 quarterback, and I don't as well. He's just so overrated. Cleveland Browns. I wrote down originally 20 names, but I mean, they have to get some offensive line. Okay. I'll just mention 3 names. Braxton Jones, tackle of the Bears, left tackle, just somebody. All their offensive line is free agents. Cam Robinson used to play there and tackle, and then Dylan Parham, guard for the Raiders. They just have to get bodies there on the offensive line. There's some free agents that won't cost a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Okay. He's not going to be a generation talent. I can't wait for 3 or 4 years from now when the Bears are just trying to move on from Caleb Williams. I cannot wait. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is big. Cincinnati Bengals. I have actually 4 names written down because I want to do a little more with the Bengals with you because, well, that's your team. But go ahead. Who you got with the Bengals?
Well, I have more than one name written down as well. I'm just, you're probably hearing me. It's terrible podcasting in the background as I flip through all these papers that I've got here. So I'll give you the first one. I kind of hope that they trade up in the draft and they address the safety need in the draft with one of those maybe some guy from Ohio State or something that would really.
Can I stop you right there? Do you think they have to trade up to get Caleb Downs? Do you think he'll be gone by 10?
Yes.
Okay. So how far do you think they have to move up? Like 5 to the Giants? Like how far?
Probably. That's what I would say. 5 to the Giants, yeah.
And you give up a 2nd-round pick? Because that's what it'll probably take to move from 10 to 5. Or maybe a 3 and a 3 next year.
Okay. The second one, yes. I don't know if I want to give up my 2nd-round pick, but I will do the other one. Yes.
2/3.
I would do that.
Okay. That's probably what it's going to take. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Interesting. No, you're good. That's why we're doing this. But if they decide that that's not what they want to do, then give me Jalen Thompson. You mentioned him earlier. Jalen Thompson, 3-year, $36 million with Arizona. He'd be better, and what I've got here in front of me on a lot of the notes is he'd be better known if he wasn't playing where he was with Budda Baker. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Jalen Thompson is a talent. that the Bengals could go out and get if they decide not to trade up like I want them to. So I would like that, and I'd also like for them to sign a linebacker. I know he's a little older, 31 years old, Caden Ellis, but I think he's one of the more underrated guys. One of the best pass rushing linebackers in football. So Atlanta Falcon, of course, more than 1,000 snaps for 3 straight years. So not only is he good, but he is available. So my guys for Cincy would be Caden Ellis and Thompson. And then I want to give you this. I've got a couple insiders, so I want to give you a name that you're probably not going to know. Well, you will. Most of the fans out there won't know. He played for the University of Cincinnati, and he is a Cincinnati native. He could also be the safety that they go after, Brian Cook.
Yeah, that's the first person on my list.
Okay, and I wrote it down because I've heard a lot of rumors around that's who they're targeting in free agency. Like he's their number one guy.
Bengals used to be so good at safety, and they let Jesse Bates walk, and it's been a disaster ever since. Geno Stone, are you kidding me? It's been terrible. Brian Cook is such a good safety, underrated player. Been such a big part of those Chiefs Super Bowl runs. No one talks about him. Yet, like you said, went to the University of Cincinnati native. Perfect fit, and it's a huge need. Yeah. I also have Odafe Owa.
Okay.
They need an edge rusher. Obviously. Maybe they don't want to pay Hendrickson because of his age. I don't know. Go get Odafe Owa. They have the cap room. Go get Brian Cook. Malcolm Kuntz, another edge rusher. They need so much. Malcolm Kuntz, he's basically been hurt this past year. Didn't play much for the Raiders. When he's healthy, he's pretty good. Why not take a flyer? Maybe 1 year, $6 million, 1 year, $7 million. Maybe he'll take that. Builds up. He'll get playing time in Cincinnati. Then next year he can get a bigger contract. I love that fit. And one more, Leo Chanel, Kansas City, another Kansas City Chief, linebacker. The Bengals linebackers, it was one of the worst groups in the NFL. And despite using draft capital on it, their second and fourth round pick, it was bad. And Oren Burks was one of the most, he sucks. He just sucks. Leo Chanel has been really good for the Chiefs for years. He's been kind of on a snap count. He's never been a full-time starter there, and I don't know why. He's just always good. He's a very good blitzer. And so good size, 6'3", 250. So he would by far their best linebacker on their team. So yeah, Leo Chanel would be another good fit for the Cincinnati Bengals. So Louis, I just don't agree. I don't think Caleb Williams is a franchise quarterback at all. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl with him. I disagree. It's this narrative. Everyone's just painting him as this great quarterback. Analytics hates him. He's terrible. His completion percentage is awful. He is put up some really big fourth quarters, so it looks great on film. But overall, he's been just a really inaccurate quarterback, missing guys by 5 yards on some throws early in games. And let's be honest, they don't have the success that they had this past year without Matt LaFleur being the coach of the Packers and giving 2 games away. So I think Caleb Williams is just, I don't think he'll ever be a top 10 quarterback. And like I said, 3 or 4 years from now, the Bears, in my opinion, will be just trying to shop him. Did I lose you, Mike?
No, you're back. You're back. I think you did lose us for a second, but I was
sorry.
doing something else on another spot, so I'm going to shut down some of my stuff that way we don't do that anymore.
Louis says Caleb Downs is going 6 at the latest.
6 at the latest, yes. Yeah, I put that up there a second ago, but yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay. We'll see. Like, safety is so tough to predict. People were saying
it's
Kyle
not a value
Hamilton
position anymore.
It's not at all, because a lot of teams play too high, cover too deep, and the safety on a lot of plays, it doesn't impact the game at all. On a traditional running play up the middle, safety's not involved. So teams just think, well, they're only involved in a handful of plays, sometimes a half. But if you look at the safety position, teams that win Super Bowls, I think it was 24 of the last 30 Super Bowl winners have very good to elite safety play, including the Seattle Seahawks, including the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's really important to be good on the back end. It's the last line of defense. But for some reason, teams just don't put, like Kyle Hamilton. There are people that had him as a third, fourth, fifth, sixth best player on their board. 3 years ago, he goes, maybe it was 4. Yeah, it was 4 years ago. He goes 13th overall, 12th or 13th to Baltimore because he was a safety. Baltimore's like, okay, we'll take him. He's the best safety in the NFL. He should have gone so much higher. So I get it. I will have Caleb Downs in my top 3 on my board, very likely. Okay, top 5 for sure. But he could fall to the Bengals at 10. I don't think he should, but he could just because of the position. But Caleb Downs is a heck of a player. Probably not, but it's very possible. They're definitely better with Max Crosby, but I don't know. I need to see what Jesse Minter can do. Yep, you're right. It's just like the Packers are wasting, we're going to waste Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft and Micah Parsons and Christian Watson. Yeah, and Xavier McKinney.
All right. Well, I at least wanted you guys to be friends again before the show ended. Okay. All right.
No, agree to disagree. We like that.
Yes, I actually like it. You're 100% right.
I like it.
I love it when you guys come on here with your takes. It's not like we're not going to put them up there unless they're just, crazy, outrageous or something, like that. But as like I say, as long as you guys stay on topic with us, we love it when you guys put your comments up here. If we didn't, we just wouldn't talk about them at all, and our show would be a half hour or less. But we do. We love it. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. Let's do our last 2, buddy.
Never be a half hour less, but I get it. All right, 2 teams left. Baltimore Ravens. We're just talking about them. Their needs are wide receiver.
Somebody knew that when he put the questions up there on them. Imagine that.
Yeah. Exactly. They have a bunch of needs on offense. Wide receiver, tight end, basically Mark Andrews, and they're 2 and 3 tight end are free agents. Guard, center, if they lose Tyler Linderbaum, edge rusher, and corner. Who you got for the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, earlier you corrected me because I thought Mike Evans did re-sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I did not even consider him for any of this. But then you said, no, he has not. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm scratching the person I originally put for the Ravens, and I'm going to put Mike Evans up here because, in my opinion, Tyler Flowers just isn't cutting it. He might as a number 2, but he is not he is just not cutting it. So
Rashad Bateman's not cutting either. Rashad Bateman's not covering either as number 2 receiver. Yeah. Both of them are disappointing. Like Zay Flowers is better number 2 receiver, but he's their number 1. And Rashad Bateman's a better number 3, but he's their number 2. So I agree with you. Wow. That would be big. If the Baltimore Ravens get Max Crosby and Mike Evans, their fans are going to go ballistic. Okay. I have a different receiver.
Okay.
I have Jawan Jennings of the San Francisco 49ers. He's actually a similar receiver to Mike Evans, just not as good. He's like the poor man's Mike Evans, but he's still – the media doesn't talk about him much, but he has been very effective for the 49ers the last couple of years. He's like a 4.6, 4. I mean, he's not fast, but he'll go up and catch everything. He's an underrated route runner. He's just been very reliable for Brock Purdy the last couple of years. And very likely he didn't like his role there. He wasn't used enough, so he is not going to re-sign. But in Baltimore, he might be the number 1 target. I think that'd be such a good fit, and Lamar Jackson would love him. I also have Wyatt Teller, veteran guard from the Browns, right guard. They need guard help. Left guard and right guard are huge needs for the Ravens. I think Wyatt Teller would also be a good fit. 1 team left, and it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. Quarterback, obviously. We'll see what happens. Wide receiver, offensive tackle, guard, cornerback, and safety. Mike, who you got for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
All right, here we go. Let's see the comments blow up on this one, too. The Pittsburgh Steelers will go out in free agency and pay a minimal contract and try to get a maximum return out of quarterback Kyler Murray.
Okay. You think that's a good fit with McCarthy? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I mean, I'm not really thinking about the coach per se. I'm thinking about, this is so the typical Pittsburgh Steelers is, we've talked about this before. They pick in the middle. They never are able to get a franchise quarterback. Kyler Murray was once thought of as a franchise quarterback. Will they look at it and say, we can make Kyler Murray into a franchise quarterback and pay minimal for him and see what we can get. They'll take a flyer on him, basically.
They did the same thing with Russell Wilson, so maybe.
And Aaron
I don't know
Rodgers.
I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. And that's the thing. I don't know. It ended badly. Like, he and Mike McCarthy, like, it wasn't good at the end. The last couple of years, like, he wanted McCarthy gone. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I could tell. Like, it just wasn't working. He was very frustrated with him. Maybe time heals, but it would be surprising to me that he would want to play for McCarthy again. It would surprise me, but maybe. So let's just say he does retire. Let's just hypothetically say, because he wants to come back. I'm sure they let him back.
Okay.
Maybe they go after Malik Willis, maybe Kyler Murray. I don't know if either one of them would want to sign there. But quarterback is a huge issue. I don't know what you do if you don't get Kyler Murray, Malik Willis, or Aaron Rodgers. I have no idea what you're going to do at quarterback. Yeah. So Kirk Cousins, I mean, what do you
Jacoby Ellsbury.
He's great at center field. He can play some center field in Pittsburgh, and the Pirates could use a center fielder. Okay,
right. It's an inside joke. If you weren't listening to the beginning of the podcast, you didn't understand that, but it's an inside joke. All right.
But I'm going to go with Romeo Doubs, especially if Aaron Rodgers comes back. Romeo Doubs. They need another receiver. DK Metcalf is a size speed guy. They need someone who's a great route runner, or they need a good yard after catch guy. Probably both. And Dobbs is a good route runner, can win quick. That's one good thing that Dobbs can do. I think he's going to get overpaid. He got off to a great start this year, kind of faded down the stretch. But I think they have to get another receiver. And I'm going to say this. This is going to sound crazy because we haven't mentioned this name. But somebody, assuming he's healthy, is somebody going to sign Tyreek Hill? Is somebody going to say he's so talented, he's so fast, we just have to get another weapon? And a team that's desperate, Pittsburgh is desperate for another explosive receiver. They need someone. Maybe they call Tyreek Hill, and maybe they come to an agreement. And they need someone like that.
Depends on what Hill wants, right? I mean, what's Hill going to want?
I think he wants to play. He wants money for all the baby mamas he's got to pay.
Well, yeah, and is Pittsburgh going to be willing to do that?
All the child support. So I had trouble finding a team for him, and so I was just like, why not? Why not Pittsburgh? They need receiver as much as anyone not named Buffalo Bills. So yeah. So that I think we'll see. Don't go with Dobbs. Maybe Dobbs and Tyreek Hill, and they can turn a weakness into a strength to go along with Metcalf. You never know.
That could.
Poll question. How we doing?
I don't know, but I'll look.
All right.
I just had it pulled up here.
So while he's looking, so what happens is the free agency officially doesn't start till Wednesday, but the tampering period starts noon Eastern tomorrow. So the next 48 hours, or basically Monday and Tuesday, are going to be insane. Most of the free agents will agree to terms. Probably 70 to 80 of them, of the top 100 free agents, will agree to terms the first 48 hours. It's not like baseball at all. Most of the free agency happens the first 48, 72 hours. So you make sure you subscribe to my channel at Football with Cheese. I'm off of work the next 2 days for that reason. I will be making multiple videos. Probably anything big happens, I will make it. I'll recap stuff. Follow Mike as well at All Gloves Off. SM. Wait, that's your SM as well. And who knows? I don't know. We haven't talked about this, Mike. If you have time from work, if you can jump on there, maybe we can jump on live and go over a few things. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. So make sure you follow the channel. Follow our X accounts as well at All Gloves Off SM, at Football Cheese as well. We will obviously retweet any big news, but it's about to be crazy starting lunchtime on Monday for the, like I said.
Well, let's just say this, Cheese. How about we commit to this? You've got the next 2 days off. I have the next 2 weeks off. Now, I have 2 weeks off. I have 2 weeks off for a different reason. I'm a spring training guy, so I have it all off for that. But either Monday, let's say Monday sometime, we'll do the Monday recap, probably more towards the evening on Monday. And then, of course, we will have the Lights Out Sports podcast on Tuesday, and we'll do all the recapping on that show as well.
So we'll go live at some point tomorrow, and yeah, we'll have our show at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Now the time change was 8 Eastern. We have a time change, so now it's 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. The show on Tuesday. But yeah, so just subscribe and hit the bell if you're on YouTube so you don't miss it. But we will go live at some point tomorrow to recap all the news because it happens fast. Like I said, baseball sometimes it is the slowest moving free agency possible. Baseball has the best trade deadline and the worst free agency as far as breaking news. And NFL it's a complete flip opposite. The trade deadline is so it's terrible, but it has great first 48 hours. Okay, we got the poll question.
I do. Before we do the poll question, now our poll question is on All Gloves Off SM, as you just mentioned. Yes. I'm going to do something a little different tonight. And I'm going to try to do this every Sunday, and I'd love to have all you guys participate with us. Here's what we're going to do. It's kind of like a follow train, but it's not exactly like a follow train. So I'm going to do Sunday shout out sixes. I'm going to shout out 6 accounts that I think you should follow every Sunday. And then hopefully we're going to build it to where all 6 of those accounts will shout out 6 accounts that you should follow every Sunday. And we'll just build and build and build, and we'll grow our sports media spots that way. So I can tell you right now that Cheez will be on one of my 6 to shout out. So then we'll do 6. I'm sure Cheez will do 6 more, and then we'll just keep growing it and growing it and growing it. So, well, we're going to do Sunday shout out 6. That's what the new thing we're going to start doing on All Gloves Off SM, which is our X account. All right.
Did you see the comment? Did you see the comment? What happens with Stephon Diggs? Oh, wow. Dorcrex had a good comment.
Oh, yes.
That's a good question. He's been accused of assaulting his personal chef, so I don't know. He's being released by the Patriots. I thought they'd release him anyway. If this didn't happen, I think they cut him anyway. They saved $16.8 million, I think. I honestly don't think he's going to get a job anytime soon. He would have to probably be acquitted of the charges, and then a team gets desperate for a receiver, but I don't think he'll sign anytime soon with anybody. I don't know why anyone would sign him. He's just a mess. He had 4 kids from 4 different women last year. Just put it that way. 1 including Cardi B. He's just there's so many red flags about him. He's been traded twice. The dude has been one of the best 10 receivers in the league over the last decade, and he's been traded twice. And one of them is giving him away like a mid-round pick. That tells you all you need to know. So I don't think he signs anywhere anytime soon.
So you're telling me he's had kids with Cardi A, B, C, and D this year?
At the very minimum.
There's
even a rumor that one of his baby moms got better seats than Cardi B, so she dumped him during the Super Bowl. She broke up with him. There's even that rumor.
Nice. All right, now that we have given you all the needs and at least one person for each of the 32 NFL free agency teams, we asked you, and there's still 15 hours left in this poll. So even after this show, you can still go over and vote on it. Leave a comment if you would like. We will answer you back. And here are your choices for how many free agents you think your team will sign in the first 48 hours of the free agency period. As Cheez was just saying, it's a crazy thing they do. They say the league doesn't start till this date, but you can actually do some behind the curtain stuff over here. So NFL's a little weird about all that, but whatever it is. So your choices were 1 free agent, 3 free agents, 4 or more, or 0. So it's kind of like everything else, right? We don't want to go too extreme one way or too extreme the other way. So 0 and 4 plus each got 15.8% of the vote. So they tied for the 2 lowest ones. The one that got the next is 31.6%. That was 1. And most people expect their team to sign 3 in the first 48-hour period, 38.6. Cheez, what did you vote for on the poll question?
I voted for 1. The 0, they must be Bengals fans.
They must be. We do have a lot of Bengals fans on our account.
I voted for 1. Obviously, a team like the Raiders that have all this cap room, Titans, Commanders, they have so much cap room, so many needs. You're going to put 3 or 4 plus. But yeah, you said my team, so with the limited cap space, I just put 1.
Okay, I certainly agree with that. They don't have a lot of cap space. You're right. So that does affect what they're going to be able to do in free agency.
15. You said 15% said 0. Yeah, we got some Bengals fans definitely voting.
Yep. All right, guys. Hey, we appreciate you guys being with us. This is a special thing. We wanted to get this out here. The Lights Out Sports NFL free agency special is over. It is done. We love you, and we hope to see you Tuesday at what time, Cheese?
9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and 6 Arizona time as well.
Yes.
For people in Arizona. But yeah, it's now 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And we talk not just NFL, we do baseball and college football as well. Not a lot of college football going on right now. And as we get closer, we will do more NFL draft stuff. The week of the draft, we will do a mock draft. There'll be Mike will host it, and myself and 3 other draft analysts will pick for 2 divisions each. It's so much fun. It's like our big show of the year. So make sure you subscribe and yeah, that Tuesday, it's gonna be great.
All right. And then we will start announcing who those other draft analysts will be before the end of the week. So look forward to that as well. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. Cheese, thank you for leading the show today, buddy, doing the NFL stuff with us. I certainly appreciate it. Yes. Hats off to you. Salute to every one of our fans. And as we say at the end of every show, even though it is a football one, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base lines. Good evening, everyone.